right, RJ. Let's kick off this stream with which game you watching right now?
I just switched over to the Boston Carolina game since the Leafs game went to TV timeout.
All right, sounds good. I doing chat and stuff. I might just leave it on this Tampa Toronto series until intermission breaks and stuff. But yeah, okay, Carolina Boston, just home
Yeah,
team forever, right? Like that's just how this is going. It's just Carolina in seven. We can just lock that in already.
I feel like we can. It certainly feels that way. And the line matching is just playing such a big role in this. You've got in Carolina, you've got the Bergeron line against the Jordan Stahl checking line, and it's they're shutting them down. And then in Boston, you've got the Bergeron line against the Aho line. They're doing a good job. It just feels like I don't know how the road team is going to win a game.
I don't either, and I don't. I certainly don't think Boston can win on the road. I think like if a team can do it, it would be Carolina, but they'd have to do
Yeah,
it
tonight would
tonight.
be the
So
biggest chance.
yeah, so we'll see there, but it just does seem that yes, the line matching has been the difference in that series. How's it going, Michael? How's it going, Brian? Thanks for joining us. Michael, go Leafs, go! I mean, go Geo Blackwell. Certainly reason to be rooting for them in this one. I've
Yes.
still, not just because I picked Tampa for the bracket, because I don't, you know me, I don't care too much about the bracket. I do not want this Toronto fan base to be given a first round playoff series win because we will never hear the end of it.
No, never. I mean, we're gonna be hearing about it for a long time. Even if they get swept in the second round, they're just that first round curse is gonna be over, and they're
Yeah.
gonna think they're gonna win the cup every year now. I mean, they already kind of do sometimes, but
Yeah, that'll basically be what it becomes. Brian, Kane's failed to start second period on time. It happens. Yes, down 1-0 right now. Um, that being said, it is only one. I mean, Carolina is perfectly capable of that. I do still think Carolina is the more skilled team.
yeah. And they had
There's
a good start to this game too.
hmm They're certainly a
They
deeper
played well in
team.
the first. Yes, yeah, for
Although
sure.
that's very hard with Boston these days.
I
Um,
know.
Scorpion, I'm Kraken fan, then Leafs fan. That's quite a few in our chat and in our ECH community here. And then Anners, I'm at work watching you guys. Lol, I also picked Tampa. Yeah, I mean, you got to go with the team that's won back to back, right? Like, how do you not?
Yeah, until you see them falter, you've got to trust that they can get the job done. Especially against a team like Toronto, where until you see them succeed, you got to trust that they can't get the job done.
Yeah, basically. Nicholas, it was awesome to watch the All or Nothing for the Leafs. I did enjoy that a lot. I wish it dug into their personal lives maybe a little bit more. The one thing I took away from it though, and I would love to hear this from any of the Leafs fans in here and anybody who watched it. What did you guys think of Sheldon Keefe as coach? Because it's the thing that kept me from being sold on him, because there was plenty of times where I felt like he had the opportunity to instruct guys or really kind of work with them, talk with them, and I just felt like there was basically a language barrier between him and guys like Mitch Marner and stuff. And I don't know if it was just age or what it was. He's just a bad communicator. But I just felt like there was lots of times where he would notice something and he'd say it to like one of the other coaches, or like him and Dubas would be talking, and then he'd go to tell it to the player, and there was just like no communication there, and I don't think the players ever then got the message. And I feel like as an NHL head coach, like that's like the number one job you got to do.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's so communication is so much of what the job is. An interesting observation. Now, I didn't watch it, but I know you've talked to me about that. Not being thrilled with Keith's coaching style.
Yeah. So let me know, guys, what you think of how Keith's been doing there in Toronto. I mean, obviously regular season success speaks for itself, doing fantastic there. And the playoff woes are something we all know about. That being said, game sevens, it's rough. Um, and they're doing fantastic this year. What do you think's different, RJ? Is it that Tampa's playing bad, or is it that Toronto is playing well?
I think it's a little bit of both. Tampa definitely is not playing up to what they have been the last couple years. I think you take last year's Tampa team or the year before that, put them up against this Leafs team, and they've probably already dispatched them by now. Um, the Lightning just look sloppy at times, especially coming off of wins.
Yes.
They don't have that same killer instinct. Guys like Nikita Kucherov and Mikhail Sergachev are the two that I've noticed that have kind of
Hmm.
looked really disengaged at times. Where yes, the talent is obviously still there, but they're not always focused all the time. It seems like, which that happens after winning two
Oh
cups in a
yeah.
row at two long playoff runs, whether you win or not. And also, I think there could just be a team wide thing where one thing that I noticed when we talked to Yanni Gord after the season ended at that media day was, I mean, obviously he would rather be playing in the playoffs right now. He's such a competitive
Yeah.
guy, but there was almost this like relief about him that yes, I actually get to take a longer break this summer. It was much needed, basically.
Hmm.
You could tell that, and I think there might be a number of Lightning players who, as much as they want to win, as competitive as they feel like that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an unbelievable amount of hockey they've played. Like I know you had the bubble year where you had breaks in there. You had a kind of a break in the middle of this season. Last year you had the shortened season with much reduced travel and all that kind of stuff. So like I know that it hasn't been like okay they've gone through 3 seasons of playing 82 and then going through a grueling playoff runs.
Oh, who made
That's
that terrible turnover?
That was a bad turnover. I was just gonna say, Palat has been the one guy I feel like for Tampa who has been
Yep,
there and really
he
been
has stepped
going
up.
for it. It's
Yeah,
contract year for him, right? Like he's gone after this, or is it just
yes,
that they're
it
gonna
is.
have to move him?
Well, it's a contract year for him, so he will be a
Yeah,
free agent. Good timing with that.
I was gonna
Um,
say. I almost wonder if that has something to do with it.
yeah, was
Um,
that Kerfoot on that turnover? I mean, he just didn't realize the other guy wasn't there.
it wasn't a great one. Nicholas, I assume talk about Keefe. He likes to pretend to be a tough guy. I kind of get that sense too. I mean, he was kind of that when he was playing, so like I get wanting to keep that up, but when you're a coach, you got to kind of be what your team needs you to be, not
Yep.
what you want to be. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. But yeah, I mean we'll see on this one. I don't know. I guess Tampa's looking better so far. They're up, but it hasn't really looked like that since I've been watching. I'm with you. Kucherov, Sergachev haven't been great. Hedman only shows up basically when he feels like he has to.
Hmm.
Like like you can tell when he feels desperate versus when he doesn't. Um, I think we're seeing the overall limitations of Stamkos's game in this series. I
Yep.
think Toronto's playing very much. Um, they're playing him in a way where he cannot utilize his strengths, and he's not good at deviating from what he does. I think that's what we're seeing with Stamkos. And then on the Leafs side of things,
Yes.
obviously, I feel like this has been the best we've seen Marner and Matthews in the playoffs ever.
Yeah, and certainly better than last season.
Hmm.
This year is kind of a different game from those two. I think Marner breaking out of that what pointless streak or whatever it was, or very
Yeah.
early in the series, helped him quite a bit, from a confidence perspective.
Hmm.
Although I think the most important thing on the Leaf side of things is Jack Campbell. The goaltending that they're getting is better than in any previous series that I can
Yes.
remember.
Yeah, and it's certainly better than we thought heading into this um, playoffs. Um, the other thing is Nylander's looked good throughout this series.
Yes.
I almost wonder with the confidence thing if it was kind of a mistake for Tampa when they didn't show up for game 1 and they just kind of made the decision to just continue to not show up for game 1. Like after that disastrous kind of first period, they were just like, "You know what? We'll just ride out this game and then we'll make adjustments." I almost wonder
Hmm.
if that was bad because you gave the Leafs so much confidence. All those guys that were shaky about it and were very much in their own heads coming into the playoffs just because of their history. If that wasn't if that wasn't a big mistake for Tampa, if they shouldn't have made them really try to earn it the rest of that game 1.
Right. You want to sow that seed of doubt in their minds, and they really didn't. The Leafs had no reasons to
Yeah.
doubt themselves after that first game, and you're right, that could have been a mistake.
Yeah, they let everybody get on the board. Christopher's rooting for Boston and Tampa. Wants game 7s. Can't argue with that logic. Hey
Hmm.
Hunter, how's it going? It's going pretty good for both of us. Cameron, who are we rooting for tonight? I have no rooting interest, so I'll root for whoever you guys want.
All
All
right.
right, so who are you rooting for in the 3 games tonight, RJ?
All right. I
Or
think,
four? Is there four?
well, in these two, Boston
Yeah.
and Tampa, because I would like to see the game sevens. I think
Hmm.
that'd be interesting. And also, with the Kraken out of it, With the Sharks out of it. I really like, and with Vegas out of it, I don't have to be against them. This is the year to go all out drama, all game sevens,
Hmm.
because it's just as a neutral spectator, it's the most fun.
It is always a lot of fun. I just feel bad for this Hurricanes team. Just all these Rod Brindamore years. Like I just want them to be able to get it over with and breathe easy for a day. So I'd say
Yeah,
Carolina tonight just to close it out. But for sure in this one I want a game seven because I want to see what this Leafs team does in a game seven. And I gotta think we all do.
that's guaranteed entertainment.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get the Leafs in a game seven. We all want to see it. And then let's see, and then Edmonton. I basically going for all game sevens. Edmonton and Minnesota. I'd like to see win also tonight.
Um, yeah, I feel like one of my first like actual big things for this playoffs was picking the Blues to be good, so I kind of want them to end it. But it's been an entertaining series, so I wouldn't mind a game
Yeah.
seven there. And I want the full like chaos explosion in Edmonton, so I want the Kings to wrap it up tonight if possible.
Yeah, you certainly would get the whole chaos thing, and that would be a nice silver lining to that, to not having a game seven there. And yeah, if the Blues win, all the better for my bracket and yours.
Yeah. What do you think happens if Edmonton loses tonight? Like, do they keep Woodcroft? Do you keep like what happens? Ken Holland has to be gone though, right? Like the
Yes, he has to, right? If you don't get past the first round, that's got to be what the goal was at least going into this season. I think Ken Holland can't continue. I think you'll have a new GM coming in. I think he'll want to bring in a new coach
Mhm.
that's not Woodcroft. I think you're going to have that cleaning of house again and just trying to find another solution. Um, it's going to be rough for them going forward. At least, I mean, I'm trying to see.
Such
They're
a
bad
mess.
contracts. Who comes off the books
I
after
don't
this season?
I don't know that really anybody does.
Koskinen, right?
Does he or does he have another
Yes,
year?
Koskinen comes
Okay.
off the book, so that helps.
That's
You
one.
need to go out and get a goalie solution. Mike Smith is still on for another year.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Wild
who
that
else? Keith
situation.
still has another year past this one.
Right, because I was
Uh,
thinking, Keith weighs you down. The Zach Hyman deal, obviously, he's got term left. That's weighing you down.
yeah,
RNH
um,
get traded? Think they trade
I
Nugent
could see it.
Hopkins?
I could see it. Um, yeah, you have to try and move some money around
Yeah.
to create some solutions here because you just don't have much flexibility given what Ken Holland did and how he set this team up with the little money he had available, bringing in Duncan Keith, Cody Cece, Zach. Did he sign the Zach Cassian extension? Whoever did,
Uh,
made a mistake there.
yeah, I don't know.
Um,
It's just
and
been
Zach Hyman.
yeah, it's just been unbelievable the string of terrible general managers that they've been able to put piece together up there.
Yep.
They're like over half our lifetimes, RJ. When you really like think about it, it's absolutely wild. How's it going, Alex? Evening, ECH friends. My nerves can't handle this game. Bolts look out of steam. They have enough gas for one good to great period most games, and then basically on life support. It's been rough for them. I understand that they've played a lot of hockey, and I almost wonder if they're not up against this kind of, you know, re-energized Leafs team, if they wouldn't be okay. Because you look at okay, next round you're facing either Florida or Washington. Washington's obviously doing a good job of punching above their weight, but they can't close out games. And Florida looks completely lethargic, and they can't score on the power play to save their life right now. So if Tampa can survive, they might be able to get something done in round two, still without being like 100%.
Agreed. And I think whichever team wins this Tampa Toronto series is going to go on and make it to the conference final. Florida looks completely off. I don't trust them at all right now. And then Washington, yeah, admirable effort, but I don't think you're getting around Tampa or Toronto in the next round. So,
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Alex, Washington, please win tomorrow. I know. I I still believe in Florida. I picked them to win the whole thing on my bracket just because I was feeling it when I was doing the bracket. I don't put too much thought into them. And I still think if they start scoring on the power play, they'll be okay. Like I just feel like Washington was truly a bad matchup for them,
mhm.
just in that sense.
Well, they've
So
been able to take away the rush offense, and that's really hurt Florida. They
yeah,
haven't had a whole lot of answers
right.
in response to that. But I think Tampa and Toronto are both good enough teams to be able. Maybe Toronto less so, but
Well,
Tampa can do it.
I was gonna say you've been watching this series. Do you really think Tampa can do it? They haven't for Toronto at all.
I think Florida's actually going to be easier.
Well, yeah, they might be easier, but I still don't know that Tampa's capable of it right now. And I still think Vasilevsky's gonna break at some point. Because if we're
Yeah,
talking
I know
about the amount of hockey,
he hasn't broken yet though.
no, he hasn't. I said second round though.
You did. You did say exactly second round. So I
Yeah,
think that's what you saw coming. We'll see if you're right or
yeah.
if they even get there.
All right, Hunter. Reflecting on the draft lottery, I'm happy with the prospects that the Kraken can choose from. We can get a potential franchise defenseman or a top six center. I agree. I think they're totally fine being at 4. I know a lot of people felt like um, there was kind of the three prospects, and then it was a little bit more of a drop off after
Mhm.
Slavkovsky and Cooley, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. I actually did earlier today kind of take a longer look at some of the prospects and did my first real dive into some of the film for those guys. It's very early on. I want to take a
Mhm.
lot more of a look. But the more I looked into it, the more I do think there is a bit of a drop off after 3, and the more I'm really hoping that one of Cooley or Slavkovsky somehow makes his way to 4. And that's because I watched the defensemen. I watched Nemitz and Juracek.
Hmm.
And like Juracek is definitely the more raw of the two
Hmm.
prospects. He's got the size. He's got maybe what you consider that upside. That these top defensemen that you see going in the top 5, like that work out, like a Miro Heiskanen or Victor Hedman who's playing tonight, or Moritz Seider. I know he went 6th.
Hmm.
You're watching the Carolina Boston?
Yeah, well, I'm also cleaning up stream here from the
Oh,
spam
okay.
coming in.
Okay, there we
So
go.
so
Oh,
keep
yep, there
going.
it
You're
is.
you're all good.
Okay, so but you look at those defensemen, and I think the guys who really turn out to be elite, one of the things they have is that kind of 6'3" plus size,
Hmm.
and that reach and that frame, and that's something that you've got to look for. And Juracek certainly has that, but I don't know that the skills are all together there. You're gonna have to do a lot of coaching. There's gonna
Hmm.
have to be a lot of development there, especially with his skating. His
Yeah.
skating stride is um, it's kind of choppy. It's really awkward, and it's tough when you're a guy that big too to get that
Yeah.
skating stride right. But I could just see him certainly at a higher level be beaten. Have forwards walk right around him. So Juracek, I'm not too sold on, and certainly he's a ways away, at least 2 years, I would think. And then Nemitz is a lot cleaner, a lot more polished of a prospect. Um,
Hmm.
like the puck moving's good, the skating's good. He looks really solid, but he doesn't have that elite size to be like a Heiskanen or a Hedman or a Moritz Seider. I mean, Moritz Seider is the comp that I've seen a lot for Nemitz. And I went back and watched some of Seider's film from before he was drafted. And while there are a lot of similarities as far as how mature their game is, he just doesn't have the size or the reach that Seider does to kind of be that commanding presence on the blue line. I think he could be very good, but not. I don't see him being elite.
Yeah. I still, but see, I know I agree with just about everything that you said there. I'm still not completely sold on Cooley and Slavkovsky enough to put them ahead of those guys.
Right.
And that's why I don't have them kind of separated.
I mean, and I suppose that makes sense. Like, and then if that's the case, then you're looking at probably what you just feel is kind of a weaker top of the draft class after Shane Wright, which might very well be the case. I mean, Cooley goes ahead for me because he potentially projects as a center, and he's got a
Yes.
lot of talent and the upside too. I think he's got the potential to even be better than Shane Wright, if things break the right way. He's just it's that much of an explosive player
Hmm.
offensively. And then Slavkovsky, he's one I'd put again closer to what Nemitz's level is. I don't know that he's necessarily going to be elite, but I don't know. I need to not let this influence my thinking, but I like his personality. He's just one of those like joyful type of people
Was
that I would love to cover and love having around.
I was gonna say because that's the thing that I've been feeling the most because I've had lots of people like talk to me about him and stuff on like Twitter and people leaving comments on the videos and stuff. And my whole thing is I really think people are letting the personality sway them a little bit there because I love that I take so much flack for being a Patrick Laine guy.
Mm-hmm.
And those same people are like telling me that this other guy is like, so great or whatever. And I'm watching tape and I'm like, the same exact player, guys. like this is just Patrick Laine again. He's just a giant guy who can go and score a bunch of goals. Like,
Yep.
so in that sense, I think you're looking at the same downsides of a Patrick Laine that everybody seems very willing to talk about. But I think the personality then all of a sudden becomes the difference maker there. And the not having the NHL drama that really never was Laine's fault to begin with. So I just think it's a perception thing, but that because that's the one thing, because I've been digging into Slavkovsky more and more today just to get that scouting report done, and I'm just like, Patrick, this is 2016, this is Patrick Laine again. Like I don't get it. Like, yes, it's enticing, it's a giant guy who could score a bunch of goals, but also it's like, can he do anything else?
Yeah, I mean, we'll
I don't
see.
know.
Although if that's the case, if he is essentially Patrick Laine, I'll take that over what I've seen from Nemitz.
Well, that being said, yes, I'm a huge Patrick Laine guy. I've been saying, Kraken, get Patrick Laine if you can. I think
Yeah.
Patrick Laine is fantastic. I think if you can have somebody who is going to score 35 to 40 goals every year, you want them on your team, hands down. That's it. But I don't think that everybody's acting like, I don't know. I don't know. He's not going to use his size, just like Laine doesn't use his size, because none of them ever use their size. Ovechkin was the only one to ever use his size. So the size kind of gets taken out of it for me when I know that they're not going to do that.
Right.
They're not going to be like, Eric Lindros or something on the wing, like, because no one is ever. So
I'm just gonna throw this name out here because I'm like watching him. But how do you think he compares to an Andrei Svechnikov?
I think that's probably a good comp for him.
Okay.
I think that could work. I'd have to think about it more. I haven't seen a ton of Svechnikov since he's been in Carolina.
I haven't either. No, post draft, I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't watch enough of the Canes really, and I don't really zero in on him enough.
Mm-hmm. But again, right? Svechnikov, he scores goals. He does some things. He's put in a situation where he is going to use his size and he's going to be decent on the forecheck, but that's really because of Brindamore and everything.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of that, like there's some one dimensionality to it, and I think that's the same thing for Slavkovsky. And I know it's all enticing, but I just think that people need to kind of keep a lid on it a little bit, because at the end of the day, yes, he's going to score goals, but know that that's all you're getting.
Yeah.
And he needs to be set up for those goals. That's the other thing.
Yeah, you need the
just like with Laine, he's limited at creating that offense himself too, and so that's where I also don't get as excited, and I don't want to put him up as high, because that becomes just an issue. All right, let's see. Alex Kings.
I'm glad the Kraken aren't picking at 5. I'll leave that.
Yes, you having a decision to make is, like I said, it's always better than just taking whatever's left.
Yeah.
Oh, good save there.
Yep.
Yep. Kings versus Stars, please. Maximum Chaos. That's from Alex. I would love that. I think that would be a lot of fun, actually.
It would be it'd be a lot more fun than Kings Flames, I think.
Yeah. And as I just got the message, Matty B won the Isaacson Award.
Yes, good for him. Not terribly surprised. I mean, we've seen his devotion to the academic side of things.
Yeah.
But good for him to get that recognition for it.
Exactly. Alex, I just feel like Florida can't keep getting away with these extremely fortunate 6 attacker goals. Florida definitely gets themselves all out of sorts trying to run Tampa through the boards, and gets into penalty trouble too. That is true. I feel like that's an issue. I just feel like, I don't know, a Florida Tampa series could actually be like a really terrible series to watch, thinking about
it.
If they're both going to be like kind of tired, like Tampa wins the mind game but Florida has legs, like that could be a nightmare series to view.
Oh yeah, it could just be this kind of stuck in the mud stalemate without all the skill you would expect. Last year's Florida Tampa series was excellent because they both had the legs, they were both determined, everything. I just feel like they would have both come out of really tough series for them and just be exhausted.
Yeah. Yes, getting rid of that bot. Alex, I wonder who could be down on line 8. Yes, I know. Let's see here. I'm talking about Slavkovsky. Alex here. Isn't he more skilled at puck retrieval and control down low? He is, and I know that people keep pointing that out on things, but my answer to that is let's see him in a North American, style situation, because
Hmm.
that will change very quickly, and that's when you're going to know if he is going to be willing to use his size or not. Because
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
easy to do that in the situation he's in right now, playing in Finland. Like, it is not the same situation in the NHL, or even if he was playing in Major Junior over here.
Yeah. No, it's a just different way the game is played, and you don't really know. That's the tough part about drafting some of these players that play in Europe. You don't know how they're going to transition to the North American style game, and you only know after you draft them.
Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing: in being in Europe, you're allowed to be much more of an East-West player, and I feel like he's very East-West in the
Hmm.
stuff that you see him do. I like how much he moves around the zone and everything, but at the same time, I don't know that he's going to be able to get away with that here in those same
Right.
ways, because no one has. I've never seen a prospect be able to translate that to North America and the NHL. You know what I mean? And you'll see lots of
Yeah.
guys do that. So Mikko Rantanen did that.
Hmm.
Like, his style of play greatly changed when he came over to Colorado.
Colorado.
He became much more of a north south kind of player, um, but he also was set up a little bit differently than Slavkovsky. So we'll just have to see. But yes,
Hmm.
you're seeing that it's possible that that does translate to the NHL level. I think, again, he can be good on a forecheck. He does have size. That's still beneficial. It's not. It's never
Hmm.
not useful, but I don't know that he'll be like a forechecking machine in the NHL. Certainly not right away. If he goes,
Yeah.
if he had a coaching staff treat it kind of like Minnesota does, where they really make like effort to get guys physical, you could see something like that maybe. But
Yeah, that would be like a good fit kind of coaching wise. Obviously, he's not going to
yeah,
go there. That
yeah.
kind of coaching staff, and I think whoever takes him is going to be sold that they can do something like that.
Yeah, I just trust very few of them.
Yeah,
Because
especially at the
we've
top of the
seen.
draft. Look at this
Yeah,
year.
I was gonna say I don't know about any of the coaches at the top of the draft, and I also don't know about most coaches around the league anyway, just because we've seen them fail at two or three other jobs before.
Hmm.
It generally is what it is with most of these guys. So, Hunter, which Kraken player do you think makes the biggest improvement from last season?
Two names come
Donskoy?
to mind right away. Yeah, Donskoy and then Grubauer.
Yeah,
And most of those just really with both of them, it's just because I don't know that they can possibly stay that bad for 2 seasons in a row, given what we've seen from the whole rest of their career.
yeah. I was gonna
Just
say
screams outlier.
just returning to average for them would be massive improvements. So in that
Yep.
sense, RJ, if I take away those obvious guys, do you have someone else?
Um,
I'm gonna say
hmm.
Alexiak.
Ooh, Alexiak would be a good one. Um,
I
I'm
think
trying to think here.
I know he had the mysterious injury illness type situation that factored into things. I also think he
Yeah.
just got burned out by the situation, kind of like Eberly. We're kind of talking about,
Hmm.
like, it just felt like, just with the expansion and moving and all that stuff, it just felt like there was burnout there, and then the team struggling, it just felt like there was kind of burnout and checkout. I think the same thing happened with Alexiak to an extent.
Yeah. No, I think he's certainly a candidate. One of the names that came to mind for me is Matty Beniers. And I know he was already fantastic, but I just think the little things he's going to be able to add to his game over the course of the summer, having played in the NHL, I think you're going to see. And it might not always be the most noticeable stuff to us
Hmm.
or the things that are just going to produce points because he was already at a great point clip. Like if he
Yeah.
just keeps that, it's impressive. But I think you're going to still see even more of those little things, those parts to his game that the coaches are going to be raving about.
Hmm. Let's see. Brian, Carolina's power play is starting to feel like a Kraken restroom break. Yeah, it was that. Back when it was going on, it was not. There wasn't anything going on. Is the problem. Um,
Yeah.
Alex saying Cole Lynn finally breaks through next year. Totally possible. If he
Yep.
loses that magnet that draws all pucks he shoots straight to a post, it's entirely possible. Um, Nicholas, do you think it would be better to have a one game loser playoff for the first pick rather than a lottery, March Madness style? So kind of like the KHL does it, RJ, or at least used to. I don't know. They change
Hmm.
things over there as often as the NHL changes their lottery setup. So,
So, okay, explain this to me. How would this work?
well, the KHL, they literally just take all the non-playoff teams and they go into a tournament, and the winner of the tournament gets the first overall pick. Now, I don't know that it's the great thing, because then you're just taking like this borderline playoff team and giving them the best player. I don't know that that's the
Right.
best way of doing it. But I understand that, like, it creates some excitement and stuff. I don't know.
Are
Ooh,
we gonna have like let's
Boston.
say, are we gonna have this argument? Oh, Boston scores again. We're getting Game 7, Dylan. Like we
I
kind of knew
know, I
this,
know. We knew it
and I
already.
feel good about Carolina's chances in Game 7.
I do too. I very much so. Especially because Ronsa gets the game here to get eased back in and everything.
Yep. So, um, where were we? Oh, we were
We're
talking
talking
about
about,
the
yeah.
yeah.
I think
So I don't like that system better
yeah,
because you're
no.
looking at, this year Vegas gets the number 1 pick. You're going to get a borderline playoff team, or, potentially very good team that just missed the first overall pick. Those teams at the bottom, I don't know how they ever get better
Yeah, that's the problem. You're
under that
stuck in
system.
like this infinite loop.
Right. I think because with what's the whole point of the lottery, right? You want teams to have at the bottom of the standings at the end of the season, you want them to have incentive not to lose, right? You
Mm-hmm.
want them to have some kind of disincentive toward losing, but you also want generally the teams at the bottom to get the top picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've talked to you about
I
gold
was gonna say,
drafting in the
if you're
past.
gonna do the gold drafting, I still think a
I'm not going to do it
podcast
now.
is gonna be the best place
No, we'll
for
do it
it.
on the podcast,
Yeah.
but that's my proposed solution. You can look it up, see how that works, but we'll talk about it on a podcast.
Yeah. I still think you're probably better off just doing flat lottery odds for like the bottom 10 teams, and then just do a lottery for each pick. So
Oh, like
yes.
1 through 10. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
Or
think,
9 lotteries. Yeah.
yeah, I still think that might be your best way to do it. Um, that way you don't have people just absolutely going for as bad as possible. Like if you even
Yeah.
out the lottery chances, then it's just okay. We're stuck at the bottom. We can still go out there and try to compete for our contract bonuses. Like,
Yeah. I
um,
think that would improve things, actually. I would make a deal with you and have that over what we have now.
yeah. Let's see. And then from Braun, my favorite teriyaki place was closed, so I went to a different one, and it's so much worse. That
Oh,
sounds
no.
terrible.
Okay, what was your favorite teriyaki place? I got to know. I like good teriyaki.
There you go. Let us know, Braun. Alex. Oh God, these names kill me. All
Oh,
right.
you're a check?
Yeah, you're a check. It just breaks my brain with the C, because not having the accents is what gets me. Because then
Right,
I'm
because the
always
accents
left
tell you
guessing.
what it's supposed to
Yes,
sound like.
because then
Yeah.
I'm always gosh, the bot is back. Because then I'm
Oh,
always
yeah.
stuck trying to figure out, okay, where are they from, which accent do I use, all that kind of stuff. I think Yurchek's the most likely choice at this juncture. Interesting, because I don't know that that's gonna be
Yeah,
the
I don't know. I
case.
mean, because they're going to have their choice of, I think, Nemitz or Juracek,
Hmm.
assuming that Cooley and
No,
Slavkovsky go
this
2 and 3,
is
which I think, yeah,
yeah. No, go keep talking. I gotta pull up the name because I forgot.
yeah. So assuming those guys go, Juracek, I could certainly see him being a possibility. You can make the argument that he's got more upside, like we talked about earlier, that he's got more size, he's got more reach, but he's just a much more raw prospect. And I think, given where the Kraken are at, they're probably going to want to go with Nemitz, who's is kind of more of a sure thing, and someone who could contribute sooner as well. That's just how I feel about it. But Juracek is certainly a possibility there.
Yeah, you know who I like actually?
Who?
Kamel.
Oh, okay, Kamel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need to look into him. I haven't.
I think he's actually the best fit for the Kraken. He gonna need
Okay.
time, very slight frame, needs to put on weight
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. But this is gonna be a guy that can play with Matty Beniers all day, every day, and would be very
Mm.
good. He can finish for Matty. I think he's gonna be. You can trust him maybe more on a forecheck in the sense that he's gonna be able to go in and use his stick better. I think than a Slavkovsky, and I think he might be the best option for the Kraken.
And can he think at a high level like Maddie can?
Yeah, and that's where I have issues also with Slavkovsky, is that he's used
Oh,
to
okay.
kind of doing things himself. I don't know how, you know
Right.
what I mean? How does that translate to playing with somebody like Maddie, who's gonna be the guy who's deciding what's happening? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you don't see Slavkovsky put himself in a situation for a one timer. You see him grab the puck and then go and score with it, and And
Right.
those, you know what I mean? And I know this stuff all sounds stupid, everybody, but like these are the conversations that these teams have in the room, is they
Yep.
look
I
at
mean,
those things.
you know, yeah. I mean, you were involved in the scouting world. You know how these things work. But yeah, it's interesting to think about.
Yeah. And that's where the
And
coaches get involved.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, certainly if you have a coach that you know is going to be there for the longer term
Hmm.
when the guy's going to come around.
Yeah.
Um, okay, Braun, Toshi's in Kirkland. Okay, so my favorite teriyaki place is actually Toshi's in Mill Creek, like where the original one, like with Toshi himself and his wife. The best, the absolute best, and it's all the way up in Mill Creek. So it's a drive, like you mentioned. That's the drive I always make up. I'm afraid that they're like I feel like they're gonna probably close down soon at some point, just because like they're getting old and they've been doing this for a long time, and now over the weekends I think they take like 3-day weekends now, and good for them. They deserve it completely. But I'm afraid that they're gonna close down soon, so I try and go there as often as I can.
Well, but if there's already a second location, then maybe there's.
Well, there's others, but it's not the same because
Okay.
at the Mill Creek one, Toshi himself, the guy who invented
Uh huh.
American teriyaki, makes it for you. It's just different. It tastes better. I've been to a few other Toshis too, but that one is the best.
Yeah, I was just saying that maybe it won't close. I'm not saying it won't get worse, but maybe it doesn't close if they've already got other locations that he's not at.
Well, he franchises them, so
Yeah.
they're all run by like their other
Yeah.
operators. But
Um,
anyway,
no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm sure everybody's up there enjoys this. Let's see. Cameron, I'm looking forward to free agency. Who we get and who we don't should be fun. Me as well. That's gonna be a thing. I'm trying to figure out. Did they announce when the draft is? Because playoffs are
what
gonna be.
day?
Yeah, playoffs are gonna be pushed back a little bit this year, right? So I'm almost
Right.
wondering
So
if
the draft is going to be. It is. It's going to be
July.
later. Yeah. Let me look at this.
Because
The draft
I'm so
is July
used.
6th to 8th. I know. I'm used to it being like late June, right?
Yeah, and then free agency starting July 1st.
Which it won't this year.
Right,
I
obviously.
think
So it's
July 13th or something like
yeah, it would
that.
be like the second or third week of July. Or do they still do the tampering window, the legal tampering window?
I think so.
I
I
think
haven't heard
so.
that they don't.
Yeah, I think they do. So that'll probably start second week, and then maybe we don't get it until the third week, which I like. Yes, hockey, just keep it going forever, but also at the same time, like I liked the schedule. I got so used to the schedule, RJ. July
I
1st, you
know, and
turn on your TV and you watch the free agent tracker day, and because of legal tampering, everybody signs in the first 2 hours, and then like
yeah,
everything.
I know it's so fun, and it's Canada Day too. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's national holiday times two. It's awesome. No, I love the whole July 1st free agency thing, and because I'll just instinctively refer to stuff. Even this year when I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, well if they'll talk to Johnny Gaudreau come July 1st or whatever, and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So I have to correct myself.
Um, let's see. Alex, Rangers getting Lafreniere was the absolute worst. Yeah, because that one. Well, that was a freaky situation because you had like playoff teams in it.
Right, you had playoff teams, you had the mystery teams winning it, and then the later second lottery. That was really weird, and obviously not something the league would have wanted to do under any kind of normal circumstance. But COVID and it just weird, like everything that year.
Yeah, I still don't know why they came up with that. Like, who pitched that and won
Yeah,
the argument? But okay, let's just do Crosby draft every year. Every team's in it, but it's weighted based on how you've been over the previous 5 years or whatever. Wouldn't that be
interesting.
fun?
Oh yeah, very fun, very fun.
And you
Much.
do, and here's the best part. You do it the night before the draft. Because every team's in it, so you don't need to like do it as this weird like thing for all the teams that miss the playoffs. Like, yes, I know your team's not in these awesome playoffs we're all watching, but here's the lottery. You do it the night before the draft.
Yeah, everyone would love that, especially GMs and scouts.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. Oh, it would be so much fun.
Like our fantasy football draft, just decide it like 2 minutes before the draft starts.
Well, it would only be for determining the first overall pick. Like the rest of everything
Hmm.
would stay the same.
Yeah,
So, vaguely, I don't know. I
yeah.
think it would be a lot of fun. Um, Braun. Also, we haven't talked about the Columbus Blue Jackets today. You're right. I'll go on a rant about Kent Johnson later. Okay, take
Oh,
care of you.
interesting. Okay.
'Cause he's not good.
All right.
He's all right. Alex Lowell, I was halfway through typing about gold drafting and gave up trying to say it concisely. Yeah, there is no concise way. That's why we'll just do like a full freaking podcast devoted to it, probably, because it's just a nightmare. Wow, the spot down here is just going off.
I think I took care of it.
It like slightly changes, so like we keep having to hide the different accounts because it's slightly different. Let's see. I hate that we can't just like get rid of them once we've like hidden them either.
I know.
It's dumb. Let's see. Brian, love Camille on the junior championships, goal scorer, playmaker, very Beniers like. See.
Mm-hmm. No, you're usually onto something with the scouting stuff. I haven't looked at it.
I already decided that this year for my mock draft, I'm gonna put like, I don't know, like a mojo meter or just like some sort of indication for the guys I have a feel about and the guys I have like a bad feel about. Because like, you know how I'll get
that'll
that,
be
like,
fun. Yeah,
like I won't be able to put my finger on exactly what that I like or don't like about them, but I'll just get a feeling about them. And all scouts do that, everybody, by the way, and it's like a thing in the industry. Like if you just say like, oh, no, I've got a feeling about this guy, like people just take that into account, like, okay,
yeah, they know what that means.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to do that for the mock draft this year, and
fun.
he's definitely the guy that I kind of get a feel for. I got a feeling about, so we'll see. And then Alex talking about him versus Lambert's stocks dynamic. Certainly interesting this year. Yeah, very, very different. Very, very different. Let's see. Braun, wow, that's wild. I thought my restaurant was the one with Toshi in it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Braun.
But that's cool. Maybe I'll go try. I live near there, so not a drive for me. Thanks. Yes.
Yeah, definitely go try it.
All right, Ty has entered chat. Can't wait for these new hockey fans to experience a Game 7. I can't either. I mean, forget about the new hockey fans. I want them for me. It's been a year. Like, it's long enough.
Yeah. I'm gonna go down in the chat a bit just to Striatic. What game are we watching? I have the Toronto Tampa game on right now.
Yeah, I got to get back to that. I had things pulled up. I was actually just trying to go and see who won last night, Ty. The game you were at. Seattle did 5-0. Ty, you got to get out of there.
That one. Yep.
Get out of there, Ty. Stop going to games like this season. Wait till next season.
Well, no, it's fine. You can go to some more because I kind of want there to be a what would Game 7 be in Seattle? I want there to be one more if necessary game in Seattle so I can try and go to it.
Yeah. No, Game 7 would be in Portland.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah. So
there's only one more game then. Is it just Game 6 then?
No, games 4 and 6. They do 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay, so I need one more Seattle win at least so that there's a Game 6 and I can try and go.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah, Cameron, the spot won't quit. It's been a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie. Brian, any predictions on who will come out on top for the West and East Stanley Cup winners? I mean, until it can't happen, let's go Florida over St. Louis.
Yep, I know that's what's in your bracket. In my bracket, I had St. Louis over Tampa in the final. I might adjust that now. I don't know. Actually, St. Louis would probably still be my pick out of the West, and then out of the East, I don't know anymore.
Yeah, the East has looked bad.
Whatever team wins this Tampa-Toronto series.
I was gonna say, if Crosby's healthy, it'll be the Penguins. How's that?
There you go.
They're the only team that's looked like they've dominated their opponent in this Eastern Conference.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, okay, so Dylan, I haven't talked to you about this since the Crosby thing happened. I mean, how are you feeling?
I hope for his sake that it is not a concussion.
Yeah, I know. I think we all do. But, yeah, I mean, as far as what that does for this series, do you think they can win the series without him?
Yeah, I think they're probably winning in Pittsburgh Game 6 anyway. Like that, just felt like it anyway. But, yeah, no, my only thing was thinking about if it's a concussion, and if it is a concussion, is this the last we see of him? Letang, Malkin leave in the offseason, and he just decides, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'll kind of go out on top.
and he's certainly been playing this playoffs like this is their last run together, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it probably is. And then yeah, if he's got another concussion on top of it, I mean, what more does he have to prove?
Yeah, he just becomes one of those LTIR guys.
Yep. I mean, how much time's left on his contract?
I think 2 or 3 years, so not like a lot.
Right.
I think it took him till he was 37, so
Okay.
it's 3 years probably.
Yeah. I know. I mean, LTIR would be super doable. No one would complain. I mean, everyone knows
Yeah.
about his concussion issues, and yeah, he's got 3 more years after this one.
As for the hit, I'm not sure it was dirty. I don't know why Truba's elbow goes out the way it goes, but at the same time, like, it was a full body hit. So
Yeah, it was. I mean, and it was kind of in a weird position with the puck there and a bunch of stuff flying around. I mean, there's no intent there from Trouba, in my opinion.
no. Um. Yeah, so that's the situation. Is I don't know. Pittsburgh might have a chance just because they've looked so good when he's in the lineup. Um,
Yeah.
but I think we're both still in agreement. Whoever wins Minnesota St. Louis is the Western Conference representative in the Stanley Cup Final.
Yeah.
I still feel very good about that. Alex Dillon going in on the forecheck against the spot, trying. RJ's been helping out too.
Yep. I try and get to it when I see it.
Hunter, do you think the Kraken will spend to the cap this year? I don't think they're going to go all the way to the cap, but I think it might be close.
Yeah, no, I think it could get very close. I mean, they've got the green light to do that. We've known that. It's been confirmed from multiple sources. They've got the green light to spend to the cap. It's whatever Ron Francis wants to do. And all the messaging so far has been that they're going to try and be as competitive as possible next season.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, then you're going to want to be spending close to the cap. I mean, the way that we've kind of gamed this out, you and I, on Armchair GM and just looking at potential acquisitions, just about all of those have us getting pretty close to the cap, right?
Yeah, it seems like it. So we'll see. We will see. It's just going to be fun that we're going to have the draft to look forward to and also free agency, because it's not every day that you kind of have both of those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
definitely.
As a fan of a team, because generally if you're picking high in a draft, you're not looking to add pieces for right now.
No.
That's not normally how it goes.
No, that's true. It is a unique situation. Yeah, it's just gonna be exciting.
Yeah. Let's see, Alex. I feel like Nazar is everyone's steal of the draft pick. Lol. I don't know. I haven't checked any mock drafts. I don't check any of that stuff until after I do my own, because I don't want to be influenced at all. I don't read other scouting reports. I don't do any of that stuff. Has that been the case?
You're just getting Dylan's take.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen that.
Okay.
But I haven't looked around as much. It very well could be the case.
Ty talking about Portland last night. Brutal, didn't skate. It's because you were there.
Ran into a good goalie too, and I think it just got in their heads.
Yeah. Michael, I'm a Savoy fanboy. Should be there at 4. I would assume Savoy will be there at 4, unless somebody falls in love with him. Somebody would really have to fall in love with him.
Now, I know you've got some issues with Savoy, like in the scouting and everything. Can you go through that real quick? Just kind of remind everyone.
My major issue is I don't know where he plays in your lineup. And not just like, is he a center? Is he a wing? He's a wing. No doubts there in my mind. But like, I don't know who you match him up with, because he's the kind of guy is going to need to be free to do his own thing. And if you try to force him into a certain system, or you try to force him in with somebody that he's not compatible with line mate wise, it's just not going to work. And you're just going to have Jonathan Drouin skating around, and he's going to pot like, 25 points a year, despite being potentially, the second best skilled player on your team. And I don't trust the Kraken, certainly, given all their lineup and system issues, to do that with Savoy. So that's my issue, is I feel like he needs to be the focal point of a line, a la Patrick Kane, Johnny Gaudreau, Jonathan Drouin. What?
Sorry, shorthanded goal for the Lightning, 2-0. Great effort from, who was that? Was that
Sorelli?
Oh, it was Sorelli, yeah. Sorelli. I knew it couldn't be Killorn. I saw 7 and a 1. Just to see which order.
It was a good play. It couldn't have been Killorn.
Okay, Killorn has not played well in this series. I will stand by that.
But you know what, though? Horrible job by Jack Campbell there.
Yeah, I mean, it's all angled off. Like, Sorelli can only go one place.
He's not even looking at the puck, Jack Campbell. Look, he looks at his own 5-hole.
What?
He looks down between his own legs before the puck's past him. He didn't track the puck at all. He just
I don't know
assumed
about
the
the
puck.
timing of that. Yeah.
The slow mo replays that I was just catching when they go in, like go back
Yeah.
and look at it. His
But I
head
mean,
goes
okay.
down before the puck has gone. Like he just
Yeah.
assumed the wraparound's coming there, the spin around was going there.
Right. That's odd. And because Gio plays that really well, I think.
Yeah, he does. You did everything you could.
Yep. And yeah, the goalie, like you have Vasilevsky. Like if Vasilevsky's playing that, I mean, he's just completely solid right down the middle and just hits his stick or five,
Yeah,
sticker pads right there in front, and you've got nothing.
you should argue that, or you could argue that he should have laid his stick down. Like if you're worried about it
Yeah.
coming 5-hole,
Yeah.
just lay your stick down in that situation and keep your glove up in case he's able to get any height off of that.
Right. And can kind of lean forward a
Because
little bit more.
he's coming around on his forehand, so you never know what he's capable of doing there.
Yeah, and I think Campbell was still. I don't know what kind of look he took, but I think in the back of his mind too, he's like, okay, what if this is not a shot, but a pass out wide or something? If there's someone with him, I don't know.
But
Because it looked like he was still trying to keep his head on a swivel, turning a
Yeah.
little bit, and the shot comes in immediately down.
yeah, but the fact that he's not watching the puck there is kind of mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Where were we?
I just got a text from a friend of ours. Just all I could read of it is, "Damn, check out that Sorelli goal."
That is pretty funny. Yeah, so that's my thing with Savoy is if you're gonna make him the focal point of your line, despite the fact that he's most likely going to be a winger, go for it. Draft him. He's gonna get you points. Like that's what guys like him do. They get lots of points. If you're not gonna do that, if you're gonna try to make him just like a goal scoring winger, he's not that. He's a dynamic playmaking guy. Gotta let him do that. Like I said, think Johnny Gaudreau. Whenever they
I was going to bring up Gaudreau's name. Yeah,
whenever
we talked about that a lot.
Whenever they shove him in a box, the Daryl Sutter box, he's completely worthless almost. And then when they're like, okay, no, you're gonna kind of run the show out there, you get 115 point season out of him. So I think Savoy is very much that way. Dimitri, what's the consensus of how deep this year's draft is after Shane Wright? I think everybody can agree there's about 7 or 8 names after Wright's that people talk about. And then the split is there 2 people after Wright and then more of a drop off, or is it just all 7 and 8 of those guys on the same tier?
Yep, agreed. And those 2 guys would be Cooley and Slavkovsky.
Yes. Ty, they had a graduation at VMC, so they did game 1 in Seattle and then 2 and 3 in Portland. It's all jacked up, lol. I like it. Get creative with it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't see that very often.
Go back to the 2-3-2.
Oh yeah, the 2-3-2.
Let's do it. Why not? Cut down on travel expense. Alex, the Rangers are legit bad and secretly were all season. I agree with that. Shesterkin has finally come back down to earth, according to Alex there. Yeah, and he was the whole reason they was doing everything. There's Matthews. See, this is what I'm talking about. I don't know that we get this level from some of these Leafs players if it wasn't for that massive game 1.
Yeah, no, I mean, if their confidence isn't what it is, and you look at down 2-0, and especially the last game. I mean, game 5, going down 2-0 and coming back from that, their confidence has got to be really high, even when they're trailing. It's like, okay, look, there's nothing we can't, come back from here or do. Watching the goal now. Oh, that tip from Matthews.
Yeah,
he's so talented.
I was just gonna say we've seen a lot of goals like this.
Great shot from Gio too.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of goals like this these last couple of days, because defensemen are not bodying up these forwards in front, because I think they're worried about the penalties.
Because those penalties are being called.
Yep, those penalties have been being called all through the playoffs consistently, and all of a sudden, if you look these last couple of games, you're not seeing defensemen body up guys up front, and it's resulting in a lot more goal scoring. So that has been one of those repercussions of an NHL decision.
Yeah. Who was on him for Tampa, or supposed to be on him there? I saw Braden Point in the area.
51, it looked like. It looks small.
I think that's 21. I think that's Braden Point.
Okay.
In which case, I don't know how effectively Point's going to be able to body up Matthews. And also, that leads to my next question: is where are the defensemen?
Well, yeah, I was going to say but we know from back in playoffs past, you'd still just be cross-checking the heck out of that person.
No, for sure. I agree with your point. Still, I'm just on that specific play. I'm wondering where the guys are.
Yeah, it's Well, it was semi off a face off, right? So
Right. So yeah, the D were probably up on
yeah.
the line there.
Where were we?
Wow, Kucherov did not
Stratic.
lose that puck there.
I know. Carolina is dominated, just not in Boston. Once it's impossible to play in Boston, they should dominate everywhere, right? I don't know. I mean, they're one of these teams that I feel like flies under the radar as far as having playoff trouble. You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
they do, and they've never been at that elite level. That when they've played these really good actual cup contending teams, and usually it's like I think Boston, in that conference final series where I felt like everyone kind of knew going into that series, okay, here's a real team. They're gonna get beaten. They got swept.
Yeah. So
Interesting from Keefe here. Sorry, after that goal, he goes right to Matthews, Marner, and Nylander together
hmm
for one shift.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, no, I'm trying force the issue.
You're in the position to do that kind of stuff if you're the Leafs at this point. So
Yeah.
let's see. Brian, Carolina is very good. Rode this whole series, likely to be a game 7 on their second and third string goalie, a la Pittsburgh and King Louis Domingue. Chef's kiss. The amount
Yeah, how about
20
Louis Domingue?
26 goaltenders have played in the playoffs so far this year, RJ.
That's insane. 26 for 16 teams
Yep. Absolutely
in the first
incredible.
round.
So it's been crazy. No, I think Carolina will do just fine if they can get through. I think Carolina beats Pittsburgh. For whatever reason, I feel like the Rangers might be a matchup problem for them. I said that back in our playoff preview video. I just feel like
Yeah.
there's something about the weird speed game that the Rangers play that I don't know that Carolina could handle.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I could see them having trouble. See, that is another reason to add on to my, don't pay goalies thing. Don't pay a good starting goalie because what are the chances he's going to actually be healthy for you if come for the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, I know. Um, all the stuff about the goal there. Campbell's a puck
Oh,
stopper, not a goalie. um, let's see.
I
Andreas, how
got
do
it.
you? What?
Oh, nothing more
Ugh,
bot.
I know.
What
Uh,
is up with the bot today?
I have no idea. How are you guys feeling about the goalie position going into next season? Well, in general, as we just heard, don't pay him. As far as the
Yeah.
Kraken go, because I'm assuming you mean the Kraken, I think there's going to be a lot more. You know, they're gonna revert to the mean.
Yeah, regression to the mean is the name of the game here. Philip Grubauer is not as bad a goalie as he was this season. Nothing supports that. Chris Drieger is not as bad a goalie as he was this season. His more limited sample size supports that. I think you're going to get somewhere between league average and slightly above league average goaltending, and it's going to make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just trying to explore options
Right, for what
for this. I don't
Yeah,
know.
apologies to everyone
I
here. I
know.
don't. The bots have never been this active on a stream for us before. I don't know what we did specifically today.
Yeah.
Um, um, let's see. Maybe it's a Blue Jackets fan who runs the bot.
Ooh, it's all Braun's fault then.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
uh,
Um, I hope this goal. I like Alex. Hope this goal gives the Bolts
build
some legs. And
Yeah.
then, oh no, Austin
Yes.
scores.
Leafs no. Elite deflection. I agree, Stratic. It was a nice one. Stratic. Nurse bodied his way up front all the way to a 1-game suspension. You see what
Is
I'm...
it time to talk about that now?
Yeah, that one. I still don't understand what he was thinking there. Like you don't think uppercutting with the top of your helmet into Deneau like a Rock'em Sock'em robot isn't going to get you in trouble?
It's dangerous, and I just think he probably figures it's the playoffs. They wouldn't, if he's thinking through. First of all, I don't think he really thought this through. In the heat of the moment, you generally don't. But also at that point, you're like, well, it's the playoffs. It's a potential elimination game. They're not going to suspend me, right? And I think you look at the Department of Player Safety, how they've generally acted. I was surprised the suspension came here. And if I was in charge of the Department of Player Safety, absolutely I would suspend him.
Yeah.
But given how we know they operate,
Yeah.
this one seemed odd to me.
Their history and especially their recent history.
Yeah.
The current regime. Yeah. I'm very surprised by it, but I think it's appropriate. Um,
Yeah. And of course, hey, it helps the Kings in a playoff series. The Department of Player Safety's never been shy about that.
okay, okay, OJ. Um, let's see. Alex, McDonough was covering the other guy net front, other D man up at the point for some reason. Yeah, I think that's just because that's how they broke off of the face off, because you'll have your defenseman set up differently, for that, obviously. It can sometimes take a while before they find their way home.
Yep.
Michael, I was a Kings fan even before I lived in Los Angeles. Hashtag Go Kings Go. Bring Bob Miller out of retirement to call the games. I mean, that would be a tough one to do now,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
unfortunately. I mean, huh?
R.I.P.
Bob Miller's still around?
Didn't he pass away?
No.
I could have sworn he did.
No. I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
When he did the cancer diagnosis and then he left, and then I thought I saw that he passed away.
No, he's alive. I even saw him. He went to one of the Kings playoff games this series.
Who was I thinking of then?
I don't know, but Bob Miller's still alive. Everyone, don't panic. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm always for more Bob Miller. He is a great guy. I was lucky enough to get to meet him. He came to speak at one of my classes when I was in college at USC. And he is just the nicest guy. Always, would take as much time as you wanted just to talk about whatever. He had so many great stories to tell. I love his Jack Kent Cook stories. The old owner of the Kings had some great stories. I could listen to him talk just all day. I would never get tired of it. And he was so nice. He let us look through his broadcasting notes. He brought his notebook over so we could see kind of what the process was. He let people even try on his Stanley Cup ring. Like, just such a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Jimmy there down there pointing out MC Dustin Brown's retirement press conference. Why is Dylan trying to kill Bob Miller for Michael? I don't know. I had the same thing.
Why are you?
I had the same thing earlier with Tom Sizemore. I could have sworn Tom Sizemore was dead. And apparently he's still alive. So I don't know. I'm just having one of these days where like I'm just imagining things, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't remember who my brother would do this to, but was it you that he would just be like, "Oh yeah, look, whatever celebrity died." Yeah.
Yes.
So my brother would like mess with him. Yeah.
But he never picked good realistic ones.
I know. So maybe that's what it is that's messing with you.
Yeah. Let's see. You might want to turn slow mode on from Alex.
Slow mode on.
In reference to what is it for the bot? Do you mean like
maybe? Yeah, I don't know what that means. Clarify, Alex, please.
Yeah.
Darnell Zidane for tonight's fixture.
I know.
Oh man.
Let's see. Good suspension.
I was thinking about the headbutts too. The last one I can remember that was like a clear headbutt. And I'm sure this is just my kind of selective memory, but Dustin Brown actually had a pretty nasty headbutt on Logan Couture a few years ago.
Oh, potentially.
No suspension, by the way.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
I don't remember any headbutts. I don't remember any like uppercut headbutts like this.
Yeah. It was different. Like Couture was coming in on the rush and Brown like lunged at him weirdly. It was if you take penalties or whatever out of the equation, it was a great defensive play if like everything goes. Creative, because you'd never think it's coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was anyway.
Writing people off, Dylan, just because they're wheels people. Yep, that's what it is.
Yep, he's gonna make sure he's the only doors people are left.
Yeah, I don't see a slow mode, Alex. Like I see your most recent message there. Stops messages in quick succession. Let's wait 5. I don't see anything. Let's see. Where were we now? Svechnikov gets Carolina on the board 2-1. That is right, Brian.
All right, closer game.
It's still It's still potential there. Elias, all the Ben content from the Oilers is very heartwarming this playoff. Such top class move from them to love that kid during his fight with cancer has made me like them a little more because of it. Yeah, it's been great, and I know the Kings did a lot of great stuff too for the 2 games down in LA as well. That was cool to see. Yeah, he was there with Bailey and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's something that both teams can definitely come together for, even in a heated playoff series.
yeah. So definitely good there. Where were we? Michael, team
Um,
most likely to make an unexpected run to the Cup Finals at this point. Dallas.
hmm. Yeah, maybe Dallas. I could see. I mean,
Is it unexpected now though that they've been giving Calgary fits?
oh well, okay. No one would be complete like all that unexpected. They're in the playoff. Everyone's in the playoffs at this point. Like, um,
Nashville.
yeah, there we go. That would
That's the
be
one that would
unexpected.
surprise me.
Yep, yep.
Otherwise, I don't know.
Ah, no, I posted as us. Whoops.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Nothing.
What
Don't worry
are
about it.
you doing? Don't click that message. I'm gonna remove your message.
Okay, go for
There you
it.
go. I don't know where that goes. To the Dustin Brown hit, I'm assuming.
It was, yes.
Dude, get over it. It's years ago.
I know, I know. It's the closest comp I could think of. Headbutts are rare.
They are. I mean, you might as well put the Shaw headbutted goal to end triple overtime against the Ducks in that one
Yeah,
series. It's like,
yeah, that was a good one.
yeah.
I love that one. I feel like some of those goals where yes, you don't want to allow like pucks kicked in, you don't want to allow headbutts.
Hmm.
Like I get that and I agree with it. But some of those, I just wish like it's so creative. You want it to be allowed.
Oh, see, Palat's like the
Oh,
only
Palat.
Lightning player that looks good.
Yep. No, he's doing great. He's carrying Killorn along the ice right now, and Stamkos to an extent.
I was gonna say Stamkos has always been more of a setup
Yeah.
guy anyway. Um, and by that I mean he gets himself set. He doesn't set up other people, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, noted playmaker. He doesn't really score the goals, Steven
no,
Stamkos.
no, never. No one's ever confused him for one of those. As far as yeah, just to like touch on it, the unexpected runs, Dallas if they pull that out. The Rangers or Pittsburgh really. I don't know that anybody would think that they are going to go all the way. Either of those two teams.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
And then Washington. Yeah, you beat Florida.
Yeah,
Eight
I mean, who
seed, just
can't you
keep
beat at
going.
that point?
Yeah.
Yeah. They've looked good at times. I tell you, if they closed out that game 4 and just won the series, they'd be a real contender, I think.
See, that's the thing. It's almost like Florida just like they need that to just wake up and then they just prove that they're
Hmm.
still a good team. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
What do we expect from Tanev next year? Line mates. Oh, so like line mates wise? I mean, you said it on what the last deep dive, right? About playing
Yep.
with Gord and
Coolman.
Coolman. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Gord, Coolman, Tanev. I think that line would be really good. Bring a ton of energy. I mean, if you've watched the Kraken this season, I don't think I have to explain too
Yeah.
much more.
No. And then you just have to figure out, that'll be I still think then they're going to go with some sort of situation where their second and third lines will play about the same amount of minutes and that'll be
Yeah.
one of those two lines.
Yeah, I agree. And you can put it out situationally too. I think it's going to be a great kind of chip to use,
Yeah.
in defensive situations or in
Yeah.
just energy situations after a goal against.
Mhm. Oh, that was a weird one.
Okay, what am I about to see?
That was very
Oh,
strange.
that was weird. Leafs are winning this series. They're winning tonight.
Do you think?
Tampa's not right.
Well, they haven't been right the whole time.
I know they haven't been right the whole time, but they're not waking up.
No. That one, yeah, it just takes a weird bounce off of his the board of his stick, it looks like.
Right.
Like that's like how could you
That's
ever
all on the
predict that?
goalie. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you're in the right spot, I guess.
That's
And
what
then
I'm
off the glove as he's trying to get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's in the right spot. He didn't do anything wrong. It's one of those that if it's a heavy shot, you can't control it. Like you can't necessarily redirect that into the, corner or something.
Right. I want to
It's
see the reverse angle, like from the shooter's angle.
And then are they saying Spezza scored it with the stick after like the tap?
I don't think so. And huge right before the end of the period. That is a killer for Tampa.
Yeah, but it's also it could wake the beast. Like I'm just saying John Cooper is the reason why I'm giving Tampa a shot.
No, I get that. I get that.
But otherwise, no, they're just not. They just haven't been good.
I thought the Beast was going to be woken up last game.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
As far as the Kraken go, I don't know who centers that other line though. Like you'll have the Gord line be one of your 2-3 lines. I don't know who's centering the other line. As RJ disappears.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Like, because you'll have Beniers center your top line. Who do you have centering the other line? Am I just spacing on someone? I know ideally it would be like Wenberg, but I don't know that that's realistic.
Yeah, and that's why I would be opposed to bringing in a center. Like Trocheck we've talked about. You brought him up first, but
yeah,
where it would really stabilize that, where you could have like a Beniers, Trocheck, Gord, and the Trocheck Gord lines are the two that are kind of evenly played, and then you have Wenberg at 4C and just feed him great matchups.
Yeah. Let's see. Boss up 3-1. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately. Alex still in enabled helium mode. Believe it or not, Alex, that's actually what I do normally when I get excited. I've just been sick for so long I haven't been able to do it that often. But that is definitely what I do when I get excited, particularly around hockey, if you noticed, RJ. Like how many memories do you have of me? I get that high pitched.
Yep. No, I remember. Good stuff.
At draft time, come draft time a lot, for sure. There you go. It's happening.
Oh. Toronto gonna score again?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. The series over.
Poor Alex.
Sorry, Alex. Complete implosion.
Everybody's just no. I know.
Tampa they're leafing.
Well, it's not game 7, so I don't know that we could say that.
Yeah. Wow.
No, it's just the hockey caught up to him this year.
Yep. I mean, you can only play so much hockey before you just can't do it anymore.
When did the Penguins get ousted for their what would have been their three-peat? Was it the first round?
Let's look at the 2018 playoffs.
Because they played more hockey than Tampa has played these last couple of years.
Right. No, they did. So, okay, let's look at this. It was in the second round they lost.
Okay.
So they beat Philadelphia 4-2 in the first round, and they lost to Washington 4-2 in the second round.
Okay. Yeah.
So they actually did make it further.
Yeah. That's a little surprising because I remember not thinking of them being that like competitive that year.
Right. Let's see. They won game 1, lost the next 2. So it was 2-2 in that series. They just lost games 5 and 6.
Yeah, just ran
and they
out
lost
of
game
gas.
6 in overtime too.
Yeah, just ran out of gas. Happens.
Yeah. Was that the Kuznetsov famous the eagle in overtime?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Alex pointing out that was the year the Caps won the cup.
It was. Yep.
Yeah.
Caps
2018.
finally slayed the demon.
Yep.
Yep. So are the Leafs winning the cup?
They've got a shot if they can keep it up.
Yeah.
Do you? I was gonna say, do you trust them based on what you've seen from them in this series? Given how bad Tampa has looked and yet still been able to give them problems, is that just because it's Tampa, or is that just because the Leafs also still have holes?
I think Leafs
hard,
do
right?
still have holes, and the Tampa's been bad, but I don't know that there's a team out there that's going to be better. I mean, Florida has just looked terrible. Washington would be way outmatched, I think. Actually, Washington might even give them more trouble.
I don't think so.
But anyway, I think the Leafs are going to get past the next round. And then at that point, you're playing Carolina, Boston, or Pittsburgh. I mean, I don't know. None of those teams scare me. If I'm the Leafs that's gotten to the to the conference final already, and then whatever team comes out of the West could potentially be quite scary. But if you're in the cup final, anything can happen.
Yeah, but when it's the Los Angeles Kings, it'll just be.
Actually, for the NHL's league-wide bracket challenge, I did my worst-case scenario bracket, which I do every year, and it's Leafs Kings in the cup final with the Kings winning.
So if that happens,
actually, that bracket looks really good so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say, everybody, when that happens, we all know who to blame.
I do it every year. It never happens.
Yeah, but that's because I was going to say that's because Vegas isn't part of it this time.
See, now it's got the power because
It's
Vegas isn't part of it.
exactly. Um, let's see. Plaz playing like he doesn't want tonight to be his last game in Tampa. I agree. I think he's been playing that way this whole series. And then Cameron, do you guys have a free agency video on targets you guys want? We do not. That's probably going to come closer to free agency, I
Yeah,
feel
it's
like.
definitely coming, and it
Yeah.
might be the thing I'm looking most forward to this offseason is really diving into the free agents and seeing who we want.
Yeah. Like I said, it's so weird cuz like I'm the same way with the draft. But
Yep.
it's so rare that you get to do both. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Um got my wife to cheer for all the teams that the Kraken want to lose for better draft picks. That's I guess that is really what the way to play this all out.
Yeah,
Who we
although
should be
Nashville
rooting
was the
for.
most important of those.
Yes. And that worked.
Already got that. So
Yeah.
pick number 49. That's going to be great for Jeremy Lauzon, an
Yep.
actual mid-second rounder.
Yep. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. Um let's see here.
Hey, reading IDs
All
here.
the freaking out. Hey, how's it going, reading ID? Um just all the freakouts from all the Leaf stuff.
Yep.
The Metro side of the bracket is so weak by comparison. I don't know. I don't know. Given how like Tampa looked all so far through this, I don't know that Metro looks weaker.
Yeah, they both look weaker than I
Yeah, they both
thought.
are
I
weak.
don't know. Yeah. What is this with the Easter Conference? Everyone getting over 100 points. They all look great now. They all look weak. Maybe
Yeah,
just against each other, better opponents. I don't know.
yeah,
But none of those teams seem scary to me.
yeah. Um, George Costanza. How's it going, George? Unrelated to the playoffs, but what happens to a junior league player after he's drafted if he's not quite ready for the NHL? For example, Savoy. Back to Winnipeg again or off to Coachella Valley? Back to Winnipeg. They'll play there until they're 2021. Depends on like how many years they've played. But yeah,
Unless
they
at some point where they're younger and they're ready to go to the
yes.
NHL.
Yes. But they can potentially be there for 2 more seasons after their draft year.
Yep.
So it's back.
What, the game?
No, the bot.
Oh, no. Yeah, for reading ID you just got here, the bot has been a menace all night.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Striatic, how are the Preds fans feeling about the Lauzon trade now? Probably not great. I don't know that they were feeling
I don't
great
think
about
they
it
were
at the
feeling
time.
exactly. I don't think they were feeling all that great about it at the time. From what I was reading on Twitter, they're like, "Wait, why did we just go get this guy for a second round pick?" I would be interested to see how generally the fan base and the beat writers are feeling about his performance since he got to Nashville.
It
I don't
would
think he
be.
did a whole lot, but I don't know if I'm interested to see if his game has changed at all or what the story is.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Hey, absurdly saying, how's it going? Reading ID. Yesterday, I had to exist so much in the physical realm, couldn't watch any hockey, and I was going through withdrawal. It sounds terrible. Physical ID. It sounds
Yeah,
worst nightmare come playoff time, really.
exactly.
But hopefully everything's all right. It was, maybe for good reasons.
Nope. Doing a lot better tonight, apparently.
Yeah. There we go. All the bots. Let's see. Alex.
Carolina just took a delay of game penalty. I mean, this game's over anyway.
I
But...
know. Alex starts looking up who might be available in the mid-20s in the first round. I really think we'll see the Kraken trade up. If anything, just because Ron doesn't want to have to make so many picks in the round 2.
Yeah, if he can't move those second round picks for a player, I think that would be his preference. But knowing the way things go, teams always hold off too.
Yeah,
Like,
and who do you bring in? Who, like, normally you'd trade those second round picks for a mid-tier guy, a middle 6 guy, maybe a top 9 guy, right?
yeah, well, that's one of their needs.
Is it though? The Kraken have like 50 of
Well,
them.
that's what Ron Francis said. He said at the end of your
I
thing,
know,
"We're
he
looking
said
for a
it,
top
but
6 forward, we're looking for a top 9 forward, and we're looking." But I think those second round picks, really, the most likely thing is that they use on a right-handed D, because
yeah.
Klingberg is the only guy on the free agent market.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be way overpaid. I think it would really be this wise thing to do to bring in a guy on the trade market instead. You've got the ammo to do it. So that was priority number 1, I think.
Hmm.
But if you can't get that done, I think he'll probably look to trade up because whoever you're drafting in the mid 20s isn't helping you anytime soon.
No, but I mean, outside of potentially the guy picking at 4 doesn't help you real soon either. So it doesn't.
No, but also but with the Kraken scouting staff, when you have a good scouting staff, I'd rather they have more dart throws than I'd rather have 2 dart throws in the mid second than 1 dart throw in the late first.
I
Unless
know.
they feel really strongly about someone, but
I
they
just
got
think
Riker Evans and Ryan Winterton in the second and third.
right, but again, Riker Evans. The reason Riker Evans fell so far was because he was a true overager.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You find things that where you take advantage of discrepancies like
Yeah,
that.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just like that's
Yeah.
a reason also why he's looked so good this year and why he's ready to go for next year too. That's
Right.
not indicative of normal second round picks, especially
Hmm.
defensemen. Um, I don't know. I think that there's enough evidence to point to that you'd rather have another first there than more seconds.
Hmm.
As far as finding somebody who could potentially be that top 9 guy that you need or whatever. Um, I don't know. Let's see.
I know this isn't football. I'm all.
I know. And yeah, I don't know. Was Ron Francis forgetting that Schwartz and Tanev will be back next year when he was like, we need another, you know what I mean? Like they just
I
have,
know. I know. I
there's
know.
so many guys.
Well, I think you could still there are, but how many of those do you really want to? I don't know. Do you want to bring back? Because I think the UFAs and even some of the RFAs aren't coming back. I think you have room to add one. Like, because remember we talked about like
Yeah,
Forsberg and Trocheck,
yeah,
and Trocheck's a little bit more than a top 9 guy, but that
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah. But you also can't trade seconds for him either.
No.
That's my thing is you're not
Yeah.
nobody's trading seconds
No,
for
you're trading the seconds for the defenseman.
yeah. And Alex meant the Bolts anyway.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I saw that as
Oh,
we were
that's
like
beautiful.
doing our thing, and I was just like, we'll keep it going. Uh, um, yeah, reading ID. So reading ID is to blame for the Toronto scoring streak, is what I'm seeing here.
Okay, clearly.
Yes. Uh, Alex, does wearing my replica cup ring during the third ensure the comeback or curse the Bolts? That is for sure going to mean the Bolts lose, Alex.
Yeah, that is curse bait right there.
Thousand
No two ways
percent.
about it.
Uh, let's see. George, thanks for the continued content, dudes. Glad to see Boston taking it to Carolina. Nothing quite like Game 7 in the NHL. So everybody is all about these Game 7s. I love it. Um, let's see. Melvin, Leafs have been outscoring Tampa in the third. I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah. No, I'm not either.
And then Cameron, would a normal package for trading up to mid first be 2 second round picks or more? I feel like if you're
Uh,
doing mid 20s, 2 will do it. If one's high.
yes, mid to late 20s. And I looked this up actually over the last 10 years. Where are my notes? It's somewhere in my notes. Give me a second.
Yeah, you did. You had the stat the other night.
Right. Okay, so over the last 10 years, there have been 2 instances where a couple second round picks have been packaged for a first round pick. In 2014, it was pick 28, so end of the first round, for pick 35, an early second rounder, and 57, like a mid to late second rounder. And then also last year in 2021, it was pick 27 for picks 40 and 51. So you look at what the Kraken have, they've got 35 and 49. So if 40 and 51 gets you 27, 35 and 49 probably gets you in the maybe 24, 25 range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's kind of where they can move up to. You also had a couple instances where there were a second and a third for a first.
Mm-hmm.
So there was pick 28 for 33 and 72, and then pick 29 for 34 and 68. So they could probably, if they want, pick like 28 or 29, package that for second rounder and with a third and get it done.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It'd be interesting. Do you think teams like, let's say Tampa or Florida would be more willing to trade down out of the first round to accumulate more assets, or?
Well, they don't have their own picks. So.
Well, yeah, I guess they don't. This is a bad
Florida
example.
doesn't for the next three
I know
years.
those are bad examples, but you know what I mean. Like some of these playoff teams, uh,
Yeah.
that maybe have been going for it for a couple of years, kind of? Are they more apt, in your opinion, to want more assets just because they're trying to replenish their prospect pool, or does that mean those first rounders become that much more valuable for them?
I think
Because
it
we've seen
depends again
both
on how.
strategies from teams in the past.
Right, we have. And I think it depends on the makeup of your team too. If you're having stars that are aging out, then those first round picks become more important to you. But if you're just looking to replace with cheap depth guys, like let's say Tampa,
Mm-hmm.
the core is still there. Your stars are still there, but you need those cheaper depth pieces. I could see a team like Tampa trading down. They actually do have they do have their own pick this year, so that could be one. Although it'll be higher than what the Kraken could do if they lose tonight.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the problem is you look at some of the top seeds like right now, standings wise, Florida, Colorado, Carolina, and Calgary have all traded their picks. The top seed, I guess, that hasn't is Toronto.
Yeah, but like I said, this was all set up for like a larger conversation of which strategy do you think is better? Like for the Kraken, 2 years
Okay.
from now, when they're solidly a playoff team,
Yeah.
do we want them to be consolidating just into like one first round pick, or would we rather them kind of have continual guys that they can throw into the bottom six on ELCs? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's not, and I know you talk about the difference between a late first and a sec. I don't think there's much difference between a late first and a high second. And if it's a high second and a mid second, I think for a late first, which is what the trade would have to be,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have whoever you get in the 35 and then have another second round pick, especially given that they don't have this full prospect pool. They've got, what, 8 guys in their
Mm-hmm.
prospect pool. That's it. And that's far less than any other
Yeah.
team. I think you do have to build it out, especially if you are giving up some of those second rounders for a player, which I do think is the plan.
Yeah, you managed to dodge my question yet again. Nice
Okay,
job.
well,
Because
what do
I
you
was
mean?
saying
Okay,
because I was saying like the Kraken like 2 years from now they're gonna have more than 8 prospects in their prospect pool 2 drafts from now.
okay. Oh, you're talking about doing it. I thought you meant like two
No,
years from
I'm
now when these
saying
guys can play. Who would
I'm
you rather have?
yeah, no, I'm saying as like a working theory for
Yeah.
general managers. You're a solid playoff team. Do
Okay.
you but you're obviously making moves around that because you're a playoff team at
Yes.
deadlines and stuff. Would you rather hold on to your first but basically trade out the rest of your draft, or are you okay, kind of if you have like a first trading that to accumulate multiple seconds just because you want to replenish that prospect pool with something other than like fourth rounders?
Yeah, I would go with the trading and getting multiple picks because I think that's how you replenish your depth. Again, it depends what your age of your core is, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're a solid playoff team like that, chances are you've got that core in place. You can replace them even via trades. Doug Wilson was really good at that, replacing his core. Dan Boyle's going to age out. You trade for Brent Burns, and you
Mm-hmm.
give up a high pick to do it, but that's fine. So I would rather go for those kind of depth guys. It also depends on how your scouting staff. I know I'm just like dodging the question. It depends. But where your scouting staff is good. Some scouting staffs are better at the early parts of the draft. Some scouting staffs are better at finding guys later. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to know that and what their forte is.
Yeah. No, I agree. Just because we've seen different examples over the years, and so that's where I was just
Yeah.
kind of
No,
curious.
that's a very good question too. I'm glad I finally got around to answering it somewhat.
Because like I think of a team like the Kings, and they're very much decided, hey, what's going to matter for us is we want to make sure with the limited draft assets we have coming out of their cup years that we hit on these. So we would rather keep the low end firsts and get rid of everything else, or the high seconds if we have those, and get rid of everything else, rather than just stock up on a ton of picks. But
Mhm.
again, you have your core of Kopitar, Doughty. Those guys aren't going anywhere. You don't need to worry about it. So
Right. And you need guys that can come in and contribute in time while Kopitar and Doughty are still valuable.
exactly, and so that's where I think those first become more valuable.
Yeah.
All right. So sorry, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Um, Tampa has their first this year, but not 23 or 24. Yeah. Yes, my mom. All I'm hearing are random numbers. Guess I need a graphic. Well, I know I did think about it. I thought about it when you did the second one. I should have typed them in, like what picks
Mhm.
went for what,
Yeah, yeah.
just to make it easier in the chat. But they probably would have been drowned out by a bot anyway.
Yeah.
Alex, need to replace Palat and Killorn. Yeah, I don't know how Tampa's going to do that. I mean, you're going to find guys probably willing to go chase a cup on cheap deals.
Yeah, that's got to
That's
be what you're looking at. But it's harder for guys like Palat and Kaloran who are legitimate top six
mhm.
wingers. Whereas the guys you've had to replace in the past, you bring in a Corey Perry, a Belmar, guys like that.
Yeah.
Those aren't legit top six wingers anymore. Well, Belmar never was, but you know what I mean. Um, and it's not the same. Or Patrick Maroon, it's a different caliber of player. It's going to be interesting to see how they try and do that. Brandon Hagel is part of that plan, though.
You take Zach Cassian with 50% retained in Edmonton, and he comes over and I guarantee a 35 goal scorer.
I believe it. He's weirdly clutch at times. I don't know.
That's such a situation. I love Edmonton. I mean, I like pointing and laughing at the Oilers. That's what I like about
Yeah,
it.
no, I mean that's what they're there for.
Reading ID, not a Leafs fan, but I am experiencing endorphins from Forsland calling a Geo assist, and I will take it. Plus, Leafs are the underdogs here somehow. They're the higher seed. They're not underdogs. But yes, they were underdogs.
Yeah.
I feel you, Reading ID. No worries. And then Alex, this article is very old, but has a nice value chart that may assist. And then there's no article.
Oh, was the draft pick value chart?
Yeah. Yeah. We put those around earlier. And I'm a firm believer in it, too. Just like I'm a firm believer, once you get to the third round, RJ, you do the old school, draft the highest scoring OHL player, or at least major junior player.
Yep. It's hard to beat that.
It
really
yes,
is.
as a model, it's actually done better. That was that whole. What was the name of the article called way back when? It was like, could a potato be a better general drafting general manager than an NHL GM? And they were basically like, if you just took the highest scoring major junior player at every pick of your draft for like a decade,
Only forwards,
yeah, and you just dealt with goaltenders and defensemen later in free agency and with trades, you would end up being like a better drafter than any general manager.
And they brought up an NHL team. It was either the Canucks or the Oilers that they compared it to, and it was clearly better.
Yeah. So that was a fun one. That was a long time ago. I read that article.
Fun if some GM just tried doing that and see how long it took everyone to catch on.
Yeah, it would be. I read that article. I remember reading that article while on a tour of USC.
Huh. Interesting.
That my sister was taking, but I don't think I was in college yet either. Because all the tours were for my sister, and they were never for me. No, I'm 4 years older.
Just born to do this.
4 years older, and it was just like whatever. I knew I was good in community college first. It's all right.
Yeah.
I fell in love with LMU because of that, though. But yes, so I always associate that article with your school.
Interesting. I did not know that.
I remember texting you about it and stuff. It was funny. Also from Alex, I think Paul gets re-signed for sure. Would not be surprised to see McDonough get moved the next couple years too, or maybe Sergachev needs a change of scenery. I think Sergachev might be the way to go, just because you're also talking about max return there.
Yeah, you're going to be able to get something that you want there. Sergachev's going to have a lot of demand as he has the puck right now. Yeah, he's just looked off this series. I think maybe a change of scenery might benefit him. And you're going to need assets too, especially after the Hagel trade. You got to replenish some assets.
Yeah, and to his credit, I thought Ryan McDonough's played pretty well this series.
No, I think he has too, but it's the contract and the way that's going to age. If you can find a team that's going to want to take that deal. But I think he's still plenty productive and worth it now. But you've got to have a team that's willing to be on the hook for the end of it. With the Lightning already having kind of gotten the best years.
Or you find an injury.
That is true. That is how things are done in the NHL. You can find an injury. The Lightning know how to do that. Oh my! Did you see? Who was it that jumped onto the bench and planked on the bench basically to avoid too many men?
Which team?
Tampa.
Because I was on cap friendly.
It happened at like the 17:30 something mark. I got to go back and look at this. That was entertaining. Who was it? Is that Kucherov? I don't know who that was. Maybe it was Sergachev.
It's a mystery player.
Yep. Anyway, sorry to interrupt there, but I just
No, it's fine.
it's funny.
Sergachev has looked really questionable all season. I agree. You know, to be honest, outside of I guess really just the playoff runs the last 2 years, I've never quite seen it with Sergachev.
Yeah, I mean, in the playoff runs the last couple of years, because that's mostly when I've watched him. I've seen what people like about him. I mean, he's been tough to play against, and he's a good puck mover. I haven't seen him much in the regular season, but in those cup runs, he definitely looked valuable.
Yeah, but how much of that was him playing as much as he was for those runs with Hedman?
I mean, yeah, that's a part of it, but I think he did contribute something there too, especially in I don't know, just kind of a puck carrying, puck moving capacity too that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I that said, I have always liked between him and Chernak. I've liked Chernak more.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I don't know. He just always felt like one of these guys that I'm constantly being told how good he is, but I'm just like never seeing it. Like obviously
Right.
he's good, but like the level of hype around him forever has been so high.
Was it Duran he was traded for?
Yes.
1-for-1. Okay. That was a that was a good trade for Tampa.
I was gonna say
I know we were talking about Sergachev.
I know we talked about the Philip Forsberg Erat trade too. Like how
Mhm.
many 1-for-1 trades have just been lopsided in the NHL? Because I feel like all of them end up being.
Yeah, whenever the trade's 1-for-1, it feels like
Is that why we don't
it's still
see him
really a
more?
win-win. Yeah, maybe. I
Alex
don't know.
Sergachev is basically Vince Dunn, but slightly better, maybe.
Hmm.
I think he's slightly better, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, I would say he's better, but as far as stylistically, the comp kind of fits, I think.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and I think that there's almost like you can't rely on defensemen with that style. Like you either want them full on puck moving or you want them like defensively responsible. I don't know how, like if there's really a place anymore for the kind of in between guys.
It's an interesting theory.
Like you want them
I mean,
specialized. I think a lot of sports have turned into that too. I think hockey's probably the
uh-huh,
last that'll come around to that just because of how it's played and the idea of you have lines constantly coming on and off and stuff. But
uh-huh.
so much of sports has become specialized. Like think of the NFL. Everybody is a specialized into whatever it is that they're good at, and then you just become elite at that one thing, and then you're just put in for those packages. The NBA is very
Yeah,
specialized now. You've got your shooters, you've got your wing, you've got your rebounder, you've got your defender, your long defender. Like that's it. You just have specialized guys now. And
huh.
I do think that the NHL is slowly going to start incorporating some of that more.
Yeah, and especially on like the defensively
Hmm.
specialized guys. I think that might even explain why you're seeing the resurgence of guys like I'm just looking at Zach Bogosian on the
Yeah.
Lightning or Luke Shen.
Hmm.
As a productive NHL
Yeah.
defenseman because he's specialized defensively. He has
Yep.
his one thing that he does.
Yeah. I think that's something that we're gonna start to see if we're not seeing it already. I mean, certainly we're starting to see that more and more forward wise.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
Yeah.
um, just everybody getting into the to the back of the net there.
Oh, stopped an inch short of the line. Wow.
Hall for
I
Larson 1-for-1.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. See, nobody wants to make those deals anymore.
Trade is 1-for-1. All right. So what happened here? I know the puck stayed out, but there was this whole mess in front of the net.
I always love the refs coming over the little hole in the plexiglass there and
Yep.
talking through it. So funny.
Also, back to was it Alex's earlier comment? I have been impressed by Nick Paul
Mm-hmm.
in this series. He's been the one lightning depth forward where I've seen it like, okay, yeah, no, that's why they brought this guy in.
They've always got
Hagel, I haven't been.
they've always got one.
Yep. I thought it would be Hagel, but it hasn't been.
Yeah.
Yeah, just everything going into the net. I don't know how
That's
the puck didn't just slide in. It wouldn't have counted, but
because Jack Campbell's an excellent goaltender,
yeah,
deserving of
I
all the
am
praise.
confident he's not going to allow a goal in this period. Like he's been able to shut it down in this series.
I mean, I was being sarcastic, but okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I know obviously on that play, no, he can't
Yes.
do anything.
I know.
But I was like, but
What I
there
love
is.
is what I love is that there is a Leaf player who comes in to like swat the puck away, and he does technically push it just right across the goal line through the crease.
Yep.
But it was after the whistles had gone.
Yeah, and well after the net was off. But that is funny.
Yeah, Alex Paul, Colton Hagel is their new second-ish line, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's a big drop off from the last time they'll have won the cup.
It is.
Like that's
It
not
is.
a terrible line, but like that's a big drop off.
It is. As much as I like those guys, I mean, I still think that Ross Colton, and I think he's taken some major steps forward, but he's still got to take another one to get to Palat Kaloran level. I just looked at your face, but that tells me the bot is back.
Yep, here we go again. You know what? To their credit, they got a new little avatar.
Okay, here we go. Changing
And it now
things up.
starts. Now it starts with Tinder, so they're changing it up a little bit.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but like also like wasn't this supposed to be, like the time of everything will be fine for Tampa because then you're just gonna have Braden Point and Sorelli coming through and you're still gonna be like the deepest down the middle and all that stuff.
Right. I mean,
And that's why
it
everybody was like,
supposed to be that.
"You're just gonna have to deal with this Lightning team for the next decade. No questions." I feel like every time they do that, that's like the kiss of death.
Right. I think one of the things also is they had these prospects coming up. What was it, like Taylor Radish, Barre Boulet, that kind of group. I think everyone assumed Mitchell Stevens. I think everyone kind of assumed those guys would move up into those depth roles and fill wherever they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And that group didn't really turn out to do anything.
Yeah.
But I think that became an issue as well because again, it works as long as you can keep those mid-round picks coming to fill those spots, which they had been for a while. That's why
Yeah.
they were so successful. But as soon as it stops, the holes open up. And also, I think the Lightning aren't done yet. Like they've still got plenty of talent. It's just, I think they're just tired. You need one season with a longer off season to kind of refresh, recharge.
I was gonna say they're going to be more talented than like the 2019 Penguins,
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
So, if not just for the fact that they have a rock solid goaltender.
I was just about to say, like
like-
Vasilevsky, you never know. You're good enough that he could always steal you a series or two.
Yeah. I've reported all these accounts for spam, by the way, everybody. They just,
Okay, good.
but they're all
Yeah,
separate accounts, so it's.
Oh no, another one.
Yep. Reading ID bot. What are even some of these emojis? I don't even know. I don't even look anymore. Media, what's up? I like the Savoy video. He looks like a sick player. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed the video. He's certainly going to be an interesting player. I think that's going to be the one that's going to be most fun to see who takes him and
Yeah.
what they're able to do with him. Alex, yeah,
How
go for
sorry?
it.
How big is Savoy?
He's
he a
tiny.
smaller player?
He's
Yeah,
like
that's what I was
he's
thinking.
5'9" something.
Okay.
And change.
Okay, so I know they're very different players. I just try and think of the times that we've been wrong on draft picks, and I remember 2015 how wrong we were on Matt Barzal. If I recall correctly. And I'm trying to be like, why are we not wrong on Savoy? And I know like Savoy projects as a winger. Well, we thought Barzal didn't project as a center.
True.
So I'm just trying to see, okay, like what happened with our thinking there, and why isn't it happening now?
Yeah.
Why is it different?
Well, for one, Barzal wasn't as good.
Okay.
Like what was like what numbers was Barzal putting up? I'm looking it up
Yeah.
because I think that's partly what played into it too.
Yeah, the numbers gave us pause.
Because it was
Draft year, he had 57 points in 44 games.
yeah, that's a far cry from what Savoy has done this year.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. The 12 goals in 44 games for sure would be something that I would look at and go, that's a problem maybe.
Right.
Did all right at juniors at the U18s, but again, goal scoring may be an issue.
Right. Yeah, and I mean he will be. Savoy's going to go before pick number 16, which is where Barzal went.
Yeah. And really, like, has Barzal, like, what? How do you classify him anymore? Is he a number one center in your mind?
I think he certainly can be. I think there is something to be said for Trotz's system and the way that he had to play. And I don't think he did a poor job at that. I mean, you look, they went to 2 Eastern Conference Finals with him as
Hmm.
their de facto 1C.
Yeah.
So I think whether he's a true 1C or not, which I would still say that he is, it's a successful draft pick.
Yes. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, you know, he maxes out at 60 points now. Like we could say that. Like
Well,
that's
next season's going to be very telling
it will be.
with the new coaching staff.
Yeah. Although I'm still interested to see who he plays with.
Yeah, no,
Let's see. Where are we now? Alex. Yeah, I don't know. They lost Gord, Gaudreau, Kuhlman, Johnson, Verhage in the past 2 seasons. That's like 2 whole lines. It's a lot. It is a lot.
yeah. Oh, 5-on-3 coming for Tampa.
Might be a year or two to restock the cupboard prospect wise. Also, not being stapled to the flat cap will help. I do think that will help them, Alex. I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, let me
Oh,
pull.
Keefe just running to the front of the bench to complain on that one.
See, he
Well-
lacks confidence in his guys.
Thinks they can't get it done.
Yeah, everybody wants me to be that guy, right?
Yeah, although I don't feel all that confident that Tampa's going to score here.
What?
No, Keefe's
Well,
doing
no.
what a playoff coach needs to
Yeah.
do. He's going to complain so he gets a call later.
That has only ever actually worked for one coach, and that's why
Gerard
that's
Gallant?
why I roll my eyes at that idea.
Who? Gerard Gallant?
No, Barry Trotz.
Oh, yeah, well, it worked for him. No, I think it's worked for Gerard Gallant. It works for guys. It's worked for Daryl Sutter. He's good at that.
How many cups does Gallant have?
How many cups does Daryl Sutter have?
3. But Sutter, but see
He's got
Sutter.
enough cups for him and Gallant.
I know, but Sutter does it the Trotz way, which is, I'm gonna like kind of yell at you here, but really, you're gonna have to get a visit from me in the locker room after this,
Right.
and that's the difference.
But it still works.
Like Trotz and Sutter just give looks at officials now. Mike Sullivan gives a look at an official, and those guys have the cups, so that's why
All right.
I think there's something there. Uh,
So Toronto doing a good job blocking shots here. Campbell looking solid. Tampa's just going to need a play that takes Campbell completely out of it,
yeah,
which is what they were trying to do with that look down low with Kucherov.
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
Toronto doing a really good job in that triangle, taking away the passing lanes. I'm probably behind here, but
I was gonna
Kucherov's
say I might be.
hanging on to it, not doing anything.
Oh, I'm behind.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like, it's not even 5-on-3. What's everybody talking about?
Oh, okay. Yeah, then you're way behind.
I was way
We've got a
behind. Yeah.
minute left on the
So-
5-on-3 here.
There it is.
All right, let's take a look.
I like this. This is my favorite
Oh,
part.
Kucherov does score. Okay. There it
This is my favorite part. When like the chat says it, and then I see
know.
it, and then we wait for you.
Oh man, Campbell clearly just didn't see the shot coming there. He didn't fully go.
Yeah,
down.
no, he couldn't see it at all.
Okay, well executed there. And this is what Kucherov gives you. Like he's still so good.
Mhm.
He's still the best player on the ice at times. Even like no one else is doing that.
No.
On maybe Matthews. I'm like on either team.
Matthews could do anything. Although Matthews doesn't score goals like that.
No, he doesn't. That's what I'm
'Cause
saying.
he's-
Like I can't remember.
Because he's skilled enough to do it without needing any tricks, essentially.
Yeah.
He can just do it. Oh, they're going to look at it, because they're going to look at
Oh.
everything all the time.
Oh, are they gonna look at it?
I don't know. They're doing something. Keefe's not happy still.
Well, of course he's not.
That's a BS effing call, he just said. I can read those lips.
Well, if he's talking about the second one, I don't know what you're complaining. Did you see the high stick?
No, I didn't, because I was behind and then I skipped past it. So
It's the most the obvious high stick. I mean, how do you not call that? The stick kind of came up into his chin and just like.
he might be, because it is an official review, so he might be talking about, interference or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that there was all right, they're not reviewing it.
All right. Well, so yeah, official review. Oh, they're not.
Yeah, they put up the official review thing, and then they just cut to a shot of everybody lined up at center ready to go.
Okay.
So it's like, okay. All right, so yeah, Tampa
Interesting.
still gets a minute of power play time too.
Yeah, we got an exciting finish, guys. Glad we chose tonight to stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the kind of moment though. If
Hmm.
Tampa pull if Toronto pulls off this game, like they come back from this momentum swing
Yeah.
and they win in regulation, I'll
Yeah.
buy what you were selling earlier about them being able to totally go all the way, or at least out of the East.
Right. Right. I mean that it'd be so huge for them.
It
They
would be.
even what's happened now. This gives you all the confidence you could want about slaying the demon and doing things the right way. Um, versus even if they won this game, 5-0, and Tampa just came out and dropped the ball completely. I don't. I think
Hmm.
there's still some doubts in Toronto's mind.
All right, so just jumping down to the bottom here, Ty. The stick didn't touch his face; it hit the bottom of his chin. Does that matter? Is the rule your head or your face for high
The
sticking?
the, the chin the chin still counts.
That's what I thought. That
Yeah,
was your
the chin
head.
still counts. It's
That's
definitely
all
a
that
high
matters.
stick. Yeah.
Ty, I want to watch Dylan suffer through a Penguins game.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah,
you,
we definitely have. Yeah.
I was gonna say Ty knows this because we've been DMing through basically every Penguins game. I have actually not been watching the Penguins game because every time I try to, the Penguins just you know what to the bed. Like it's been a
Yeah.
disaster. So I don't watch Penguins games right now this playoff series because that's been good for them.
All right. So you're saying we're not going to stream during a Penguins game?
Well, we can just know I will not be watching that game.
Okay, fair enough. I will tell you how it's
I
going.
will be watching the other game, and that's how it
Yep.
would go.
Yep.
Line switched up for Tampa, according to Alex there.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, now you're in, you know.
Sorelli, Colton, Palat now here.
Hmm.
The thing is, Tampa's doing so much to feed Toronto's transition, and that worries me. They're not being careful with the puck in the offensive zone, and it's just feeding these transition rushes for Toronto. They haven't taken advantage of it yet, but you've got to be more careful than
I
that.
was gonna say because they're just trusting in Vasilevsky is what they're doing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Point
Ready.
Stamkos, Kuch, Palat, Shirelli, Killorn.
Hmm. Interesting. And yeah, Toronto trying more of these stretch passes too. They think they can get behind Tampa's D, and I think they're right.
And Ty was being sarcastic about the high stick.
Oh, okay.
It's still a good learning moment for everybody, Ty.
Yeah, no, there's
That's all
yeah,
I was doing.
yeah.
Um,
And hey, I mean, especially if you're a newer fan, you see Keith complaining
Mhm.
about it as much as he was.
It-
And down the ice, the odds from DraftKings, the rush by Hagel. Just throw that. How about all these the gambling odds on the broadcast, Dylan? What do you think?
It's fine with me. I mean, if we're gonna have ads and stuff, like they at least make
Yeah.
sense and are relevant.
Yep.
They're not ads for NFT collections for a mascot that doesn't exist.
Yeah, sure beats that. I will say, I mean, it's really coming on the betting stuff.
Yeah, of course
it's
it
here to
is.
stay. It's big. We've even had a couple like companies like that reach out to us.
I was gonna say, RJ, as someone who has used those sites before,
Mhm.
why wouldn't we think it would be big and here to stay?
No, I mean we know this, but I've never seen the TV presence as strong as it has been the last year. I mean, there are good reasons for that we know what they are, but
You not watched an NFL game in the last 3 years?
yeah, no, I meant in hockey. I meant it in
okay,
hockey.
okay.
No.
Like, what are you talking about?
No, football. It's been that way. Like,
DraftKings and FanDuel have been like seared into my brain.
all right, good finish coming up.
Yep, should be a good one. All right, let's see where we're going. Where was I going? Yeah, Ty pointed out we were taught not to complain, but to tell them they owed us one. That's certainly a way to do it.
That's how you do it. Yep.
All right, let's see. Going back up. Yeah, media. I read somewhere that they said he was 180, which seems pretty big for 5'9" already. Talking about Savoy. Let me go double check because yeah, I think I saw that for him as well.
Well, then, do you have your Bedard issues with him then?
No, because he doesn't play that same way.
Okay.
Like Bedard's using it to get to the net. I also do not think Savoy is really 180. I think that's, you know,
Yeah, you
nobody
get.
checks that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he is listed 5'9", 180.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, it's the same thing. Uh, yeah, Bedard was like 5'7", 180. That's also like just ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, I think that's pretty reasonable. I think that's probably the size he'll be forever, or you know, till he retires and gains weight at the age of 40, because everyone does. But but otherwise, that's what he's gonna be for a while. He's gonna be 5'9". And then George Costanza asking, speaking of Savoy's height, how concerned were scouts and GMs with Patrick Kane's size before he was drafted? Not very, because he was so
No,
skilled.
not very. Yeah, when you have the skill that it's just so far and away past what anyone else is. And I don't think Kane was as small as those other guys. He was
No, he wasn't.
definitely smaller, but
Patrick Kane combine.
what was his grip strength though?
Let's see. Well, Kane was 5'9", 160.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty small.
It is very small. I remember him being so small.
Yeah.
But like, you know, we live in the age of Marty St. Louis and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. But I mean, I understand the question. It's a good question.
Yeah. Oh, danger shot from Nylander.
All shots from him are dangerous. That's why he scares me.
Yeah. I think the bots are trying to get. Did you see the last one? Trying to get at least more persuasive deaths. This one's better. Will satisfy your wishes online. That one I could. Okay, how about Tampa Force the Game 7?
Yes, Game 7. Let's go.
Don't click the link, people.
No, I don't. For sure not.
But that one's a better offer, I think.
Yeah. Ty trying to make deals with me here too. Dylan, I will do a critical Colorado game if you do a Pens game. That is tough, but you have to be there in the building, because that's what jinxes them for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the presence. Yeah, how about Colorado? Okay, does the sweep give you more confidence that they're legit?
Sweep? No.
Colorado.
No, because it was
Same.
against Nashville without Saros.
I love how how Bednar is talking. I didn't see the context around the quote, the adversity quote. You know what I'm talking about. What adversity?
I know, what adversity. They kept saying that. Like, there was the one game where the team Twitter account put out like the 7-3 graphic because they won 7-3, and they put something like, you know, like we hung on or whatever. And it's like, what are you talking about? You hung on to win 7-3.
Yeah.
What?
So I think here's what I think happens. I'm gonna choose to believe this, that Bednar, all the Avs players, everyone in the Avs organization only follows one person's coverage of the team, and it's me. So like nobody believes in us because they just watch what I say about them.
Wow, RJ. Humility. I always forget it's one of your strong suits.
I just wanted to see what your response would be. You did not disappoint.
I was gonna say, that's my territory, RJ. Get out of there.
Get out of there.
Get out of there. Oh man. Then have you watched Steve Dangle do a game? I laughed so hard. I can, but only for a little while.
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot to take in.
It's too much for me, anyway.
Yep. Point Darcy is their adversity. Okay, I mean, but look at the other team. Look at the team on the other side.
Yeah.
They didn't even get a single game with their starting goalie.
Yep. There you go. Alex, I could see Colorado playing super sloppy against a better opponent because they had such an easy time against Nashville. I think that's certainly possible. I think they're just going to have a hard time with either of these two other teams.
Yeah, I mean, the book on Colorado is as soon as things get difficult for them at all, they crumble. And things never got difficult for them in the Nashville series.
Yeah, but is this the year that teams like Toronto and Colorado have put in the work? Like, you know how in the NHL it goes, like, you can enter, no matter how favored you are, you have to lose like 2 or 3 years before you figure out how to win in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Is this maybe just the year for Toronto and Colorado?
And I have considered that too. It'll happen eventually, I think. For Toronto, I'm starting to believe it might be. As for Colorado, I'm convinced it's not. And part of that is kind of the way that they played through the Nashville series. Like, I wasn't all that convinced. Nashville is a very inferior opponent. I think they still let them into games that they shouldn't have been. Also, just from hearing how they talk about things, it doesn't seem like they kind of respect, what this is as far as the playoffs and how difficult it is. I think there's a certain amount of, and I know it's hard to quantify, but like respect you need to have, humbled you need to be, and I don't think the Avs are there yet.
All right, we'll find out.
Yeah. And we'll find out next round. We'll find out very soon.
Yeah.
If they beat St. Louis or Minnesota, then I'll be convinced.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, I would be too. Pencil them in to win the cup in my mind if that happens.
Unless they sweep them.
Get out of here. I don't know. I just so don't believe in Bednar.
No, I don't either. I really don't.
That's my hang up with them. It's just him. Let's see. They do have monster talent though, that they do.
But it's not enough.
Yeah, George, the bot is annoying, but is promising to satisfy our wishes online. Hold my beer. Johnny Hockey or Forsberg coming our way.
There you go.
They did. They stole my whiteboard reading ID. It's actually right here under many empty bags of cough drops. So it's like my whiteboard. Millions of reasons why I don't want Toronto to win, and one reason I would be okay with it. Steve is that reason. I mean, it would be cool to see Steve Dangle if they get out of the first round. I don't know that I could handle Steve Dangle if they won a cup, though.
No.
And to be honest, I don't think it'd be healthy for him.
No, it wouldn't. Have you seen they put his heart rate monitor on the screen now? They have a live reading of Steve's heart rate on these streams.
I believe it. It's probably pretty high.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that, remember? Streaming, playing scary video games with my heart rate monitor. That would definitely be something to do. Although apparently my heart rate is just exceptionally high to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you're just going to be at the intro screen. Everyone's thinking you're like right in the middle of the game.
Well, I was at the doctor today. It was just my resting pulse rate was 120.
What?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's very high. So yes, I got my referral to the ear, nose, and throat. I also got a referral to a cardiologist. So let's go. What every 27-year-old wants.
Oh boy.
So yeah, mine would be broken if we did the heart rate monitor thing.
Yep. Steve was hitting 160 in game 5.
I believe it. Yeah. Excuse me, Dylan, what the heck? Yeah, that's basically what I said, Alex.
Yep. I mean, I'm used to it at this point, just being his friend for as long as I have been, but yeah, that's Dylan.
Yep, it's been that way forever, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and take the referral and just, like, double check things. Like, hopefully there's not a reason. I always assumed it was because, like, I had a panic disorder and all that stuff, so I was just, like, constantly in a state of whatever. And doctors do make me nervous, so I'm sure that speeds it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it's the exact opposite of my sister, who will, like, sometimes not even register because hers is so low. Huh. It'll be like 65 at the doctor. It's like, are you alive?
So, like, was the heart rate distributed in, like, among the two of you, like, opposite of the artistic talent? Like,
I was gonna say, me and my sister, we are the opposites on everything. So of course one of us would have an unusually high and low. That was the chance right there. Who missed that?
They didn't. Who was that? Yeah, that missed. Campbell didn't stop that, did he? Was that Hagel?
I don't know. No, yeah, no. It just went.
It was
wide.
Hagel.
Yeah,
it was Hagel. Yeah, he has not lived up to that return so far.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one they're gonna look back at and. But that's what I'm saying. Campbell's come up big. This is like 3 games in this series where he's had a save of that caliber, or miss, whatever.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
gotta look at the replay here.
let's see. I always read as having extremely high blood pressure since I'm always nervous about having blood pressure taken. That happens to me too, Alex. My blood pressure is always high at the doctor's office.
Did that just miss?
Just yeah, it had to have just. Oh no, it
It looks
glanced
like it hit
off.
something off of Brody.
Yeah,
It looked like it hit something.
yeah, it's yeah, it for sure off Brody. So it's just a block shot. Look at him. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Not your fault though.
No, no. That's when we got to go pull out the iPad and show him.
Mm.
Look, it was a
I
block.
I was gonna say I should have kept. We should have just kept going, guessing at what it was to see how long Striatic would just keep putting in block.
Yeah. There's the chat.
How many would it take Striatic before you would have hit all caps? Let us know.
I like this little like puck battle. Everyone just waiting on it, but the spot that it's in, right in the high slot,
It's, yeah, you don't see that very often.
a board battle in the
What
high
I
slot.
what I love about that too is neither Tampa defenseman crept towards the middle at all.
Yep.
What do you
No,
what? Who are you defending on the side? Everybody's in the slot.
That's just such a rare formation in hockey. I don't know how you could ever track that to look at similar times, but I love it.
All right, I'm gonna
One
call
day,
this
yeah.
right now, RJ.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
I predict one of these two teams will win, potentially in overtime.
How bold. How bold of you, Dylan. As always.
I'm just saying, I don't think we're gonna see like a 7 OT game that has to be continued tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so one of these teams will win today, you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. That's
Okay. I don't think you said today in the initial one, so I'm like, okay.
Alex not feeling the Tampa goal in the next 4 minutes. Mostly a great play by the Toronto D to block that, though. I agree. Would be a shame if I'm proven wrong. Let's see. I know I'd skipped some stuff earlier. Hunter asks, if we trade Drieger this offseason, do you think we'll get a first rounder? I think you do if you can leverage Edmonton enough. But I think that's your only realistic shot at a first for him.
Yeah, and I think France is going to be really hesitant to move him. It's going to have to be an offer that kind of knocks the socks off.
Really? You think he's going to just hold on to him and Decord?
Yes. I mean, that's what he hinted at the end of the season. And I know that's, kind of a leverage play. You don't want to feel like, yeah, no, we're going to be forced to make a really bad decision here. We've got, you don't want to be saying that. But just given what the incentives are for next season, I really do think that win now pressure is there. And if something happens with Grubauer, you need a backup plan. And I don't trust Decord yet enough to be starting 30 games.
No. Ty brings up an interesting one, though, that he heard the other day. Keep Driegs and send Decord through waivers. If he's picked up, he has to play in the NHL, but he's far from proven. Yeah, do you think like a team would pick him up and then really commit to playing him enough before you get a chance to get him back?
Yes. Yes. There are plenty of teams that exist. Yeah,
Edmonton.
I mean, yeah, if you look at this past Edmonton, the Coyotes even. I mean, he's someone, and he went to Arizona State. Like they don't have goalies. They picked up Harry Sateri off waivers. Like the Coyotes would do it for sure.
Yeah. Don't worry about me absurdly saying I'm sure I'm fine. Live like this for over a decade now, so
yeah, you got to learn to just kind of like let it go and know that whatever freak thing's gonna happen. That's kind of how I approach it now.
Yeah. I want to get to this one from Alex. Tampa is just getting wrecked in the faceoff circle in this series. Okay, here's one. I believe Evan Rodriguez. Oh, is he going to be an RFA with the Penguins? He might be an RFA.
UFA.
He is a UFA. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that could be a good one for Tampa.
Yep. Yep. Although the problem with Rodriguez, actually, I haven't looked at his contract, but like, how old is he? He's 29. Like, this is kind of his last chance to get paid. And if you're going to Tampa, you're going to have to take a big pay cut. And you look at his career earnings; he's never had a salary in a single year above $2 million.
Yeah.
Career earnings, it says estimated on Cap Friendly about $5.5 million. you've got to just set yourself and your family up at this point.
Yeah,
You
but
can't
who's
be
going to
taking
pay
this
him?
out. What do you mean who's going to pay him? There's going to be plenty of teams that will pay him.
They're going to pay him what, 2.5? Like, it's not. Evan Rodriguez is not going to demand a high price tag. I know he's played fantastic this year, but like,
It's free agency. Teams get. I'm looking at like, okay, if you sort by, am I sorting by points here? Yeah, just sort by points among free agent forwards. Okay, it doesn't sound impressive that he's like 18th, but still, um, I don't know. I think some team's gonna get desperate.
Stratic, Edmonton has Stuart Skinner. They're going to run Smith and Stewart. Skinner had a better NHL save percentage than Drieger last year and a better win percentage last year, meaning this past regular season. Yeah. My only thing is, do we really think Mike Smith's coming back?
Yeah, he's got another year on his contract.
So it's going to be
You
41.
think he's gonna retire?
I think it's certainly a
Why
possibility.
would he retire?
Because Connor McDavid and their head coach just threw him under the bus 2 days ago.
What do you? I mean, you're you're gonna turn down like $2 million getting to be goalie on a winning team, just because of that?
A winning team if they get bounced in the first round again.
They're a playoff. Sorry, a playoff.
What are his career earnings? Look those up.
All right, all right.
Because, yes, I think as a 41-year-old man, if you're going to be disrespected and blamed for everything, all these losses on a high-profile team, yeah, I think you might just say, okay, eat the $2 million. I'm playing in Canada anyway, so really I'm not taking home that much because of the taxes, and I'm out of here.
Okay, career earnings about 49 million. So I know he doesn't need the, but like I think there's a reason he's playing at 40 years old. He's got that gamer quality to him. I think
Yes.
he's going to try and play NHL hockey as long as he possibly can.
Yeah, but will it be for Edmonton? That's my thing.
Well, you're not going to find any other spot in the league where they're going to let you start as many games as you would.
Right, and
otherwise.
that's why I think he'll consider retirement. I couldn't believe when McDavid did that.
Well, what, throwing Smith under the bus?
Yeah.
Well, what exactly did he say? Because I didn't see it.
Well, he repeated the coach's line, and I don't know who spoke first, but of we scored 4 goals tonight. That should be enough to win.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Like,
yeah, no, definitely.
I know Stratix.
I mean, I would be surprised to. Yeah.
I know Stratix saying he didn't throw Smith under the bus. He threw the defensive effort of the whole team under the bus, and I get that. But at the same time, if you're Mike Smith, you're hearing that, and you're taking that one way. When both the coach and the captain, team captain, say that.
Yeah, no, I like it. It definitely can be, put on the goalie there. And I think, yeah, you're also saying that because this is not a guy you're going to have long term.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think he could definitely be your guy next season. He's got that contract. Because if you're Mike Smith, like we just talked about this, where else are you going to get that kind of opportunity to play?
Well, potentially nowhere, or you sit out until somebody suffers an injury, and then you could go there.
Yeah, you could play that route. I just don't know that it gets you a better chance because also he doesn't have a Stanley Cup yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you're going to get a better chance at a Stanley Cup than Edmonton.
And to even kick it out of the first round.
No, I know. I'm aware of that. But
I know.
The teams that have real shots at the Cup don't need to rely on a 41-year-old goalie.
Stratic, he was blaming himself too. I know. I just saying. No defensive stalwart Connor McDavid. Yeah, I know. All right, going up. Let's see. I know way earlier there was something about playoff coverage with it being on TNT, TBS, and ESPN. And the one thing I will say about it is, because I know everybody was talking bad about NBCSN, and yes, it is nice not having NBCSN. I love the TNT. This, what do you call this? The intermission reports, the desk.
Yeah, that right, the desk, the kind of roundtable thing. It's awesome.
I like that they ported what they'd already done with basketball and baseball, which is we're going to have the people there and we're going to have them be casual about it, and we're going to have the host be casual, which sets the tone for everything. Because that's what sets the tone for it, and that's what I'm most thankful for this playoff so far.
Yep. No, it just makes it work. Yeah, I love that kind of roundtable, and I like just kind of the various people they have on there, the differences in style. Mm-hmm. It's great.
And Biz is getting better, because I'm not a big Biz fan. Whitney's really the reason why I don't like Spit and Chicklets. Not a huge fan of his. But
Mm-hmm.
Biz has gotten a lot better now that it's
He
playoff
has.
time.
Yep.
Let's see. Alex, Chicago needs a goalie. Chicago does need a goalie. I don't know that they
Yeah, they do.
would want one bad enough to pay for it though.
No. Are they talking Drieger or Smith?
Drieger.
Drieger. Yeah, they're not also at this point competitively yet. Where I think I don't know. What are they going for next year? Are they not?
I don't know.
Go by it. I mean the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably because you have to with Taves and Kane if you're going to keep them around.
Yeah.
While they're still semi-viable, like productive, prime, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Also, if they get moved this off season, what they do, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
And that's going to inform a lot of what you do in net.
Yeah. Michael pointing out overtime. Leafs and Habs went to overtime in Game 6 last year too.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
This has a different feel to it. It really does.
Yeah.
Because I watched that series all the way through. Right. This one feels different.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I agree with reading ID. TNT intermission is okay in the playoffs. It was unwatchable for so many of the regular season games. Yes, I think they needed stuff like this, just like the NBA really does it, where you have multiple games so that everybody gets into that more relaxed atmosphere because you know you're sitting in that studio for like 8 hours.
Yeah, and at a certain point, you just kind of loosen up.
Mm-hmm. Kings game on True TV, bumping in Practical Jokers. That's what we wanted.
Oh, that's great.
When we got these new deals. Let's see.
I remember they had a Kings playoff game. I think it was probably like 2013 or something against the Blues. And I was watching it on TV, and it was in overtime. And they put it, whoever was on TV, it was a local station, put it picture in picture with, and it was the smaller one, with a end of regular season basketball game. I think it was a Clippers game. And I'm just like, what is this?
Los Angeles.
LA is what it is, yes.
All right, time to check in on this Minnesota St. Louis game.
Yeah, well, no, I haven't even.
St. Louis is up, so they're going to win. Awesome. All right, now we don't need to pay attention to this anymore.
Has there been a lead change in that series yet?
That's a good question. I think, yeah, game 2, right?
Wasn't game 2 like,
or one of them? I thought the Blues scored first, but then Minnesota scored like the next 3.
Let's check. Was that game 2? No, Minnesota went up 4-0 in
All right,
one.
Game 4. It was one of the ones Minnesota did well, I thought.
Yeah, the game 3, Minnesota also went up 4-0, and then game 4, Blues scored first. No, Minnesota never took. So no lead changes through 4 games, and then
one of them, whichever one Kaprizov had the couple goals.
Yeah, game 5 is where the lead change was, where Kaprizov got the couple goals.
All right. See, I was off by 3 games, but I knew it happened.
Yeah. So only one game with a lead change so far. So yeah, Blues up 1-0.
RJ.
Yeah.
You remember the Versus Network?
Oh, I do remember Versus. There's got it wasn't good, but it has this nostalgia factor.
It does. I think those were the most.
Oh, Joel Eriksson down. You get high sticked. Anyway.
I think those were the most dimly lit sets in the history of sets of all time.
Totally. Oh, the Versus Network memories.
I remember when that was pure Bettman coming out of the lockout too. Yeah, we're gonna sign this deal with this network nobody's ever heard of, and they will go bankrupt before the end of this deal.
Yes, totally. Oh man. Okay, you know what my top memory from the Versus Network is? When I was, I must have been like 13, 14. I was younger, and we had to go on a long plane trip, and I was trying to download something onto my computer that I could watch. And on iTunes, they had they had some free things on iTunes. Sometimes it wasn't all just like the 99.
The 09 skills competition.
Yes. Okay, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I downloaded the entire 2009 skills competition on Versus Network and just watched the whole thing through.
Yeah, that's a good one. McDavid just scored. There he goes. See,
Oh, all right.
not committed to defense, out there scoring goals.
I have not
Hasn't learned a
mentally
lesson at
prepared
all.
myself for the late games being on.
I know, I know.
Because
Um,
I think didn't we kind of like soft plan to stream until about 7, and then the Leafs game went to overtime. Like, well, we can't cut this off.
yeah, basically. Um, yeah, reading ID not wanting to repeat of last year for the Leafs. Um,
Yeah, nice wraparound for McDavid.
that's nice.
That doesn't look like the solid on top of things Jonathan Quick.
It's gonna be
That's
one of
won some of
those.
these games for LA. Might be. It does look that was offside.
Yeah, I agree with Ty. Eriksson Ek was a mess. They missed a 4 minute call there. Yeah, it was a
Yep.
healthy amount of blood for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that looked pretty bad.
Um, Overall, the TNT play-by-play people are better in my opinion. Buchagras can be real rough. Yeah, okay, Buchagras not good, not good at
Yeah.
all. Um, my I can't keep track of who's with which network because I don't remember anybody's names. Like you and I were talking about
Mhm.
this off air, RJ.
Yes.
I can't remember any of the names. I just remember like the guys who were doing this series, the Blues Wild one, for at least a little while, in my opinion, were like the absolute worst because there'd just be minute and a half of nothing, dead air, and then they'd talk about something unrelated to the series. I was just like, what is going on? And the same goes with not when Forsland was doing the Carolina series, but
Because
first
Kevin Weeks was breaking trades and stuff,
it's probably
signings and whatnot.
but also in that Carolina Boston series, there's been a couple of those games where it might have been that same crew just doing that game, that series, and those were terrible too.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, why are you talking about everything but what's happening in front of you? That's the thing that gets under my skin the most. I also don't know why neither network just has them planted to one series. Like, why are the crews shifting around
That's
so
just
much?
thrown me off so much is that they move it around series by series. I remember you had like Forsland calling the Bruins Hurricane series at one point. Now tonight he's calling Tampa Toronto,
Yeah,
and there's been multiple examples of that.
right. And I don't think that that's good for the broadcasters because they need to like get in there and like you know what I mean? Like they learn the teams and I feel like it gets better as they're there with the series longer
Yeah,
because they get the rhythm of what this series is and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's when you get
exactly.
some of the best calls later in series is because they get feels for what the two teams are doing and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
and playoff series absolutely have this rhythm of their
mm-hmm.
own that you kind of need to be following to be able to call it the best. I mean, that's why broadcasters always are going to the morning skates and the and everything, following the team like the media does. They need to be up to date on those storylines.
Yeah, so that's been my big complaint is I wish that they would just kind of stick with that. Now I get that it's been bouncing back and forth between ESPN and TNT/TBS, so that's probably got something to do with it. But that's my thing. The other thing you and I talked about, RJ, was go back to the old model where the team's regular season people cover their team for the first round.
Yes, that is best. I always like that they did that. You kind of got the first round with your guys before it moved forward. I would just stick with that.
Yeah, and Randy Hahn the goat. That's it. That's our other takeaway.
Yes, Randy Hahn is the best. So good.
Um, Alex, NHL has the best officiating in the league. What do you mean? I know. It's a mess. You know what though? I think I would take NHL officiating over MLB umpire crews.
Mm. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Stratic, were we supposed to watch the LA game? Watch whatever game you want.
Oh, where are we supposed to watch the LA game?
Oh, True TV apparently. It was
Yeah,
on.
True TV.
TBS
Just
now it looks like.
click Impractical Jokers on your.
Well, yeah, no, it's got to still be True TV because the Toronto Lightning game's coming back. So let me go back over to that.
Yeah, as long as that one's on, we got to be watching that one.
So True TV until it's on TBS, I guess. Triadic. All right, who's your overtime pick, RJ, for each team?
Oh yeah, we gotta do the overtime challenge. I'll go Willie Nylander, and that's who I think it's gonna be because I think it'll be Toronto. I think Willie Nylander and I gotta go someone really obscure for Tampa. Eric Chernak.
Okay, so you just like picked your
Is
two
Ruta
favorite
playing?
players. I was gonna say you just picked your two favorite players from each team. I think Nylander's the safe pick, and I initially thought that, but then I thought, no, you know what? That would be too. That would create too many weird narratives for Toronto. If they're getting out of the first period, this is happening because of Austin Matthews.
All right, fair enough. And I did not pick my favorite players from each team, by the way.
This is just the two players you've mentioned the most today.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
But
all.
my favorite player on the Leafs is Colin Blackwell.
Yeah, we know. Um, and for Tampa, Victor Hedman.
Yeah, I see.
He'll
If they
just get.
score, I see it coming from the point.
Yeah, he's just gonna get mad and just do it.
Just be like, guys, let's go.
Enough. Enough.
You know, if you get Toronto to Game 7, then the curse kicks in. Like, it should be all the motivation you need.
Yeah. Perry Labushkin. But it's an own goal.
There
It's pretty funny.
we go. I've been impressed by Labushkin.
Yeah, he's been good.
I get one of those defensive specialists
Mm-hmm.
that we talked about. Oh, McDonough winds up. Nope.
Ryan
I
McDonough
just
already had his hero moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was close
He
to.
still looks so dangerous on the rush to me, and then Tampa's just feeding it. Here they had another one.
Yeah.
Wow. See, like I think their goal's coming on something like that.
Right, and do you see how Matthews was in the best spot to end it there?
Yeah, he was. He was.
See, that's the thing. It's got to be the second guy through for Toronto who's going to score, and Nylander's always the first guy through.
Right. Yeah, good point. He'll get the shot, rebound will come out, someone will tap it home.
Mm-hmm.
But Tampa is just
And
they're not afraid to feed Toronto's transition. It's
No,
it's
they're
bad.
not. I was just going to make a joke about Austin Matthews being a cherry picker.
How did that one fly out of there for Vasilevsky? I don't know who hit that.
Because he's hashtag blessed, RJ.
Yes, clearly.
You know what, though? Ty, this has been the first game, because I know this drives you crazy on Twitter all the time. You're always tweeting about it. This has been the first game where I haven't had the issue of who's in which color jersey. I've just known all along that it's Toronto and blue. I mean, Tampa and blue. I didn't even do that on purpose, but that would have been hysterical.
No, I know. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good. Although I have been confused with this game, I will say. I think maybe also the fact that it is in Tampa and like everything is like I know this game is in Tampa because it just looks different than where the Leafs play.
Oh,
And-
that was close.
and they've got the blue stanchion things.
Yeah. See, for me, Tampa should just always be in the blue, and Toronto should always be in the white. So that's why these games are less confusing for me.
Yeah. Big save there.
Yep.
That turnover. The Lightning just still look sloppy as they have all series. Man, whoever scores for the Leafs here, if someone does, is just going to instantly achieve legend status.
Yes. George versus Holy Throwback to Elementary School. Major nostalgia moment. Came back to early Crosby McDavid. Crosby Ovechkin days. Jeez. Grew up with no cable, but in Spokane it was on the antenna, so I was happy with it. Well, wow, I didn't get Versus back in the day. And I had cable, so.
Yeah, I think we had like what DirecTV or something, so we got it.
That is pretty sweet. But yes, that is what it'll always be, is that rivalry, that Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry, was born on the Versus Network.
Yes, it was. All right, they're doing a huddle up. Matthews, Marner, Gio, and Hall.
Anthony
How about
is
that?
really
How about
good
that
on
question, Dylan? Did you see that question about Hall from the whoever it was in the Leafs media
No,
to Keefe?
no.
The question was, and I'm not kidding you, why would you put your worst defenseman out there for a deep zone draw? Did you see that?
Who asks that? Also, the bot's back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. Who asked that? How you get like? Well, it's Toronto, so, but still.
Yeah, it's Toronto, but still, like, I could not believe that. And Keith handled it perfectly, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I know he did.
Who's our worst defenseman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you start your
Oh,
worst
well, that's
defenseman
your
in such a
opinion.
loud building?
Yeah. That's man. Yeah, we're never gonna do that, right?
No, I would have just, if I was Keith, I would have just turned it around. Why did you ask such a stupid question?
Yeah.
There.
I can't. Oh,
Toronto's gonna need a change at some point.
there's a long shift, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know who's ahead here. I don't know if you're ahead of me or I'm ahead of you, which also adds to the fun.
1640.
1647. Okay, so you're ahead of me significantly,
Yeah.
and also I'm sure chat's ahead of us.
Probably.
The chat is just gonna go crazy, and then we'll know we're about to see something.
Reading ID. Who even thinks of that question? Toronto media people. That's what I'm saying. No.
Yep.
That's yeah.
Toronto and Edmonton are the two cities media capable of doing that.
Where not only would they think of that question, they would feel secure enough to ask it. Because that's the thing that's crazy to me.
I know. That like I second guess myself on the tiniest of questions. Like, wait, is my premise not right here? Or whatever. To go and ask that.
According to chat, this might be ending soon.
Oh. Well, Campbell just stopped it. We got to stop it.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Ty's got some magic
so
crystal.
Ty's messing with us. He knows we're behind. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it's Ty. I should have known
Ty.
better.
I got to see who it was in the chat. No, because we'll have 10 messages when it's actually over. It'll be everyone.
Don't do that to me. We're Portland boys.
Yeah. Yeah, there it goes. Hey, Alex, Jim Matheson is a terror. Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's the Edmonton guy, right?
Who? Oh, yes.
Jim Matheson.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I guess I understand feeling secure enough to ask whatever question when you've been covering the team since before it was in the NHL, but doesn't mean you should still be doing this.
The trust is now gone, Ty.
Oh boy. Oh.
Get out of here. It's especially hurtful, everybody, because I had to rely on Ty for all of the Penguins game updates because I can't watch those games. See, now I won't know how to trust him.
Yeah, what to do.
Was the joke worth it, Ty? Ruining our relationship? All right, let's see.
Okay, Dylan, you want this game to end right now?
Why is it going to?
Because I don't know. Well, because I really have to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna go for a second. I'm sure the game will end.
That is true. Geo show pointing out we have covered our team since before they were in the NHL.
That's right. We have. All right, we just gotta stick around till we're 80, and we can ask whatever questions we want.
Yes.
And get all pissy with the players.
There we
go. There's our motivation. I'll be right back.
Yeah. I don't know, Chai. The trust is gone now. It's got to be earned again. What can I say? Also, for a second there, Alex, I thought you were calling me Mr. Pissy, and I was like, fair. I'm not referring to Jim Atherson. Okay, so Stratic, you got Huberto and Joe there. Yossi should have also gotten heart noms. Were Huberto and Yossi both left off? Is that what you were referencing? Yeah, not this time, Dylan. I know. Cause yeah, I didn't see if the Hart nominees came out today. I haven't seen them yet, so you can break that news to me if you want. Matthews, McDavid, Shesterkin. Why is McDavid there?
All right, who scored the winner for Toronto?
No one. RJ,
Oh,
why is McDavid one of the three nominees for Hart?
okay. Points.
Yeah, but he plays with Draisaitl, who's the only other guy who comes close to him in points. Like maybe that has something to do with it.
Well, who are the other two nominees?
Shesterkin and Matthews. So
I mean,
no Yossi, no Huberdeau.
right, right. I mean, again, it's just the thing with McDavid. He's going to be arguably the best player in the league every year. He's going to put up like 120 points every year.
All right,
And
Alex is going off on Huberdeau here, but let me just ask that: like, how often? Because I don't know the answer. How often is there not a Hart Trophy nominee from the President's Trophy winning team?
interesting question. I mean, okay, who were the Hart nominees last year?
I I don't generally care that much about the trophies, so I very rarely pay attention to them.
Right, right.
Well,
I'm saying, was
McDavid
McKinnon one of them last year? That's all
I was
I'm
gonna
saying.
say if McKinnon was one of them, then it checks out. Obviously, McDavid won it because that was incredible what he did last year in the shortened season.
Yeah. It was unanimous at 101st place votes.
Yeah.
McKinnon was third place, so he was one of the
Right.
nominees.
See, I feel like if you've got somebody who's reasonable anywhere close to that, and you've got the President's Trophy, then I feel like you're set.
Yeah. Trying to think who won it the year before, but it wasn't Edmonton, Colorado, or the Rangers.
Yeah. And then Stradek pointing out he only plays with Draisaitl on the power play or when they're desperate.
Yep.
He plays with Draisaitl there.
That's a big umbrella in Edmonton, the or when you're desperate.
I know. I'm just
But
saying,
yes, that's
even just
true.
the fact that you have them playing together on the power play is going to inflate both their numbers.
Yeah, although I know you wouldn't be making an argument for Sidney Crosby when he was, in those races.
Yeah, but well, one, Crosby never ran away with the points race like McDavid does, and two, Crosby plays defense. I mean, that's something there. Because like it's
part of it. I was just like, well, then give him the Norris.
That's funny. Because like with a power play, like you already are down a man, and now you have to cover both McDavid and Draisaitl. It's ridiculous. All right, so who won President's Trophy the year before? Alex asking. 2020 was Boston, right? Question mark. Did Boston win a President's Trophy?
Did they really?
That surprised me.
And that recently, standings. Whoa, it was Boston. Oh, cause the season ended like midway through.
Oh yeah, it was the weird cutoff.
It was the COVID. Yeah, where COVID ended. They won it with 100 points in 70 games.
Yeah, all right. I don't know that.
So they did not have a Hart finalist.
Yeah, I don't know that counts though.
Okay, so back to the like normal year.
Yeah.
Which would be 18-19. The President's Trophy. Oh, that was Tampa's President's Trophy where they ran away with it.
And Kucherov probably was nominated.
Yeah, and Kucherov won it.
Won it, yeah.
But he also had a ridiculous amount of points, like way past anyone else.
Yeah, and he was playing with talented teammates. So I just said I think Huberdeau should have been there just because he was the top guy on the team that was the best team. I think there's something to be said for that. If you're gonna say like Stradek pointing out, I think the Art Ross winner is always going to be nominated for Hart. Then why shouldn't the best player on the best team always be nominated for Hart?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just as arbitrary, right?
Yeah, the awards are all arbitrary like that. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then the Predators won the President's Trophy the year before. That's weird. I'd be surprised by some of these President's Trophy winners.
I know.
Just a few years ago.
Because they never win the cup, so we never think of them.
Well, yeah, exactly. And they're usually out pretty quickly in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, my only comment for Boston throwing Boston out wasn't about them winning the President's Trophy, but about their Hart nominees.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I feel like Marshan would be like the obvious one, but there's no way that they would do it. So I feel
No,
like
they
that's
wouldn't.
also kind of a thing that
You'd
you
have to
could
get
kind of
100. You'd
toss.
have to get like 110 points.
Yeah, because he could be deserving, and they're not going to put him there. So
Yeah, and then Bergeron will just never have the points to get in that
yeah.
conversation. He could be the perfect player, but he'll never have those points.
No, look, Stradek, I know, but a typical McDavid third assist is like he makes some ridiculous play to gain the zone, draws a double team, makes an excellent pass out of the double team. Some other players do something with acres of space created and score. I 1,000% agree. I'm not for a second not saying that McDavid is not the best player in the world, but I don't think that he needs to, just because he puts up oodles of points doing stuff like that. I don't know that he then needs to just be a fixture in the Hart nominee race.
Well, what's Dylan? Okay, what's the difference between best player in the world and most valuable player in the NHL?
Well, in the NHL, I never know because it's random apparently, but it changes every year. But yes, I think you just have to pick one, and because they haven't decided to give it to McDavid every year he's been in the league, then you've already picked and said.
That it's not
Then it's
the
not
best
about
player.
just who's
Yeah.
the best player,
Yeah.
because that's what bugs me in like MLB. Mike Trout is the best player all the years he's healthy. He should win it. But he's runner up most of the time because they want to give it to someone else or someone whose team made the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like in a sport where much more limited playoffs, or at least until recently. So that kind of plays into it there. But whereas, of course Edmonton will always make the playoffs with McDavid around. Just because half the teams make the playoffs.
They didn't always, but yes.
I know.
Because they were so catastrophically bad
know.
otherwise. And they still are, but wow. It's amazing those early teams did not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, Trout
boy.
hasn't been healthy in a while, Alex.
Yep. All right, we're 10 minutes into this overtime here. It seems like the first 5 minutes or so were very back and forth.
Oh, the
up-tempo.
NHL app was going for a ride there, joining the rush.
Oh, did it?
The
Okay,
add-ons. I love when that happens.
Oh, how'd that not go? Oh yeah, the NHL app. There it goes. Okay, I know it's a business, all this stuff. You need the ads. I get that, but I really miss those Stanley Cup playoff things just inside the blue lines.
Mm-hmm.
They gave it a special feel, like you knew it was that time of year, and just especially in person to just have nothing there.
Yeah. Oof. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's overtime. Nobody's getting called for anything.
Yeah, no.
All right, see right there. That's something I want to see from one of the Kraken goaltenders next season. What Vasilevsky just did there. See how he stopped the shot, let it drop right in front of him, and then immediately covered it with his glove.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see.
That. What a concept. Big block from Labushkin.
T is a speed game. It is. Certainly in this series.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in all the series so far.
All right.
TV timeouts.
Oh, are they doing the ice? Yeah, TV timeout.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, they're staying on them, but like
No, I know
ice
because
crews
there's no
out there and stuff.
commercials actually in the playoffs in overtime, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because in overtime you just have them scrape the ice once in first time stoppage inside 10 minutes. Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel any more or less confident in either team after these 10 minutes. It's
No.
just been back and forth. You could have either team. Great block from Gio there. They're showing the replay of. He's so into this. He's so engaged. It's great. He's getting to play some playoff hockey now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good for him and to be expected, I think, too.
Yeah, for sure.
From what we got to know of him while he was in Seattle.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, President's Trophy winner in 2000, RJ. Who was it? Did they have a
President's
nominee?
Trophy winner in 2000.
Just messing with you. How many people would stand outside in the rain if they were playing now in Seattle? Ty asking. I think a lot.
Yeah, a lot would. Yep. No, I think come playoff time and it's light out.
and
Yeah.
and they would make it their own. Like it would be the Seattle thing that like they're out there in the rain, you know?
Yep.
Like
Yeah, I'd like to see them do more. I don't know, something for Tightwad Terrace where the people out there could. Oh, well, because well, actually, no, they wouldn't do anything because like you can still see the game on the Twins, like on
mhm.
one of them, and so they just have it watching the video screen there. But I think they would have something going on around it.
Oh, I would hope so.
Yeah. I was worried that they would stop doing that or they would bring the curtains up, but I'm glad because like Todd Lewicki mentioned, he's like, yeah, we're gonna own it. This is ours.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that.
Um Alex, I would lay down in a puddle if the Bolts needed it to win.
Yeah, Alex, playoff hockey. He's invested.
Well, I'm not
Love
watching
to
the
see
Penguins. Like
it.
it's just the way it's you got to do what you got to do.
Yep. Yeah, I always felt like not watching the Sharks helped them, but I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I was going to say, is that why you were there freaking out when Hurdle scored that big goal right there at the glass?
Oh yeah, that's yeah. They lost that series.
They did, but not that game.
No, actually, that's true. They won the 2 games I went to, and they won the one game my parents went to in L.A. and my brother went to in L.A. And then we stopped going, and they lost the next 4.
Yep.
Why'd I do that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up like the whole memory of it. I just meant that
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
like, because I will always remember seeing you on the TV broadcast, just like freaking out right there at the glass.
That was a pretty fun moment.
It was. Yeah, they would. The Armory would be awesome for something
Yep.
like that.
Yeah, that game was my first in-person look at Martin Jones playing. Came in relief in the third period for the Kings. Little
I
did I know.
was gonna say, never forget how pumped you were when the Sharks traded for him.
Hey, you know what? It
He did what no
worked
one
out
else
for you.
could. He
He
got him
did,
to a final.
and he got him there. I mean,
Yeah,
he, you know,
he kept them in
and
it
they
too.
yeah, and they don't win the 2019 Vegas series without him either.
Mhm. All right, Alex. Expected goals are 3 to 2.86 in favor of the Bolts right now.
Okay, so very close.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it's not a little higher too, given how
Yeah,
what's been going on. There's been lots of shots blocked in this overtime, though.
yeah. So 3 to 2.86. The real score is 3-3. The computer boys have got to be patting themselves on the back right now.
Yeah.
The models are working, gentlemen.
Yes.
They expected this.
Oh, Paul's getting crushed on these face-offs.
I guess I'm about to see him lose a face-off. Yep.
Yeah, with the graphic they're showing how
Well, I
bad
didn't.
he's been
Is he even a center? I seem to remember him as a winger.
taking a decent amount of face-offs.
Yeah, maybe it's that it's on the left side. Well, who's he out there with? Hagel and Colton. Yeah, I suppose there's no true center on that line.
Oof. Good steal by Marner. I've liked Marner this series.
Mm-hmm. No, he has played better than usual this series.
Leafs were a 55% face-off team all year. Bolts were 50% or so. Let's see. I think Huberdeau getting that many assists as a left wing is really special and underappreciated this year. I agree. If you could get an assist per game plus, I think that also means something.
No, that is
So,
impressive.
combined with the President's Trophy thing, I just think,
Yeah, as someone who grew up watching Joe Thornton, I do
yeah.
appreciate the assists.
Um, any new, fresh Kraken mascot ideas since they kept teasing us all season?
Ooh, um, mascot ideas.
Oh, I thought that was going top corner for a second. Sorry. Um,
um, just like scramble anywhere I can to find
Yeah.
the stream that's ahead of you.
I know. No, this is
um,
this is one thing I will say about this overtime. If the Leafs score and win, it'll be because of like a skill play. If Tampa does it, it's just going to be because like it bounced off somebody in front of Campbell and it just like went by him.
mhm.
Don't you have that feel?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I picked Chernak for the winner. Like,
Yeah.
it's going off of a Leaf. It's not coming straight from Chernak and in. Um, but yeah, the Leafs, it's going to be off the rush. It's going to be off a skill play.
Well, it should be the exact opposite now.
I know. Like Marner just ping balls off 4 people and
Oh, Mike Smith, what a goon! Speared a helpless Athanasiou.
oh, I'm gonna go over to that.
Did he
game
want
for a
to? Did he want to
You're ahead of
join?
me anyway.
Yeah. Did he want to join Nurse? And this is up in the press bridge.
For the first game of next season.
I
Sure.
know. I know.
Just retire and never serve the suspension.
What a way! What a way to make me right.
Yep.
Channeling
Someone.
Billy Smith, love it. Try to
It's
like the
Draisaitl.
reference.
Yeah.
Um, pretty sure
Oh,
Alex.
cool. We get Randy calling the Oilers Kings game.
Ooh, that is fun. Pretty sure Alex is right about this. The mascot. Alex said the mascot's gonna be a second round pick.
That's a good one.
It's just a draft board.
Yep. Oh, that's good. Yeah, any fresh mascot ideas? I thought I heard one a few weeks ago that I was like, oh, that's good, and I don't remember what it is. It was someone else up in the press bridge. Who suggested the idea? The mascot was not somebody else up in the press bridge.
Yeah, absurdly sane pointed out Davy Jones as mascot. Husky connection, C connection. I know. I
Yeah.
was kind of surprised how limited content we got about Davy Jones as the year went on.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they're going to be future team dogs, and that Davy Jones is just the first.
The year one dog, yeah.
Yeah. So.
It can't not be Inky. I know. I love Inky.
At this point, yes.
A crab,
Maybe.
like a crab, maybe you could do something like that. Just because that'd be fun, you know. You run the string attached to all of them, so like the top arms are controlled by the person, and then the whole thing moves.
Let's see.
Salmon.
Yeah, you could go the fish route. I don't know. Anchorman. I still like my ideas. Anchorman, or didn't they have that kid's drawing that was just like Anchorman?
Yes,
anyway?
yes, for the
They
kids.
foreshadowed it. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And what is the mascot for if not the kids? Oh.
Apparently for everybody in this chat. I know. You're seeing the rush now that I was just seeing.
Yeah. Anti-Greek discrimination, Mike Smith.
Yeah. Ty, you know what was a dud? The
Gruduck?
Depths member. Yeah, I know. Gruduck.
Yeah.
You know what was a dud? The Depths membership. I told Todd about it in my review with him.
Yeah, there really wasn't much once. I thought there'd be a lot more because I got the Depths membership because I wanted to like review it for everyone. Yeah, that was a dud, and I think a lot of people agree.
I was gonna say you did the review at the beginning of the year and then never mentioned it again.
No, well, I mean, because they made it sound like was that more cool content and exclusive stuff was coming, and I'm like, hey, if this is just the start, that's great, you know. So I gave it a good review, but you've got to keep the stuff coming. And you did have like exclusive access to certain things, but not a whole lot.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. We get Game 7.
Yep, let's
Oh,
go.
It was Bunting. I was like, who's just face down in the net? Wow. All right, we get the Game 7. It's going to be so entertaining.
Congrats, Alex. I appreciate it because I just saw your screaming in chat and then I was able to like watch.
On point. Me not watching a second of the game worked. There we go. Good for you, Alex.
Yeah, happy for you, Alex. Sorry, reading ID, but we all knew this is what had to happen. If the Leafs want to prove that they are new, that they've turned a new leaf, then they have to exercise their Game 7 demons. It's just the way
Yep,
it is.
this
And
is the
look,
challenge.
this is the year they get to do it at home. Let's go for that. In front of fans, all that. I
High drama.
gotta be careful with that kid there.
Yeah, jeez. Got 2 cups. You don't have to be careful.
I know. Yep. See,
Wow.
is dirty goal, just shoveling garbage.
Yeah, exactly. That's always. Wow, how slow it rolled into the net.
Yep.
I didn't even realize that at the time.
Think of how slow it was for them too. Those
I know.
defensemen right there. Is one of them
Yeah.
Hall?
Oh, yeah, one of them's Hall. Oh no, right there.
Oh no!
Oh.
What is the media gonna be?
Why would you put your worst
Why would you put your
defenseman right there?
worst defenseman out there in
And I
overtime?
think Point was his guy. He got there too late. Oh no. Oh no.
We'll see.
I'm so excited for Game 7.
I am too. Do we do emergency watch party stream for that? Maybe. Oh, I guess it
let's see, when
depends.
is it?
Oh no, is it gonna be Saturday night?
Yeah.
No, I can't do Saturday night.
Oh no.
My sister's
So
got
I'll just try and tweet a bunch.
graduation stuff. No.
Well, Saturday TBD time. We don't know the time, but
Yeah, let's do a matinee, everybody. Let's go. Tweet at Gary Bettman.
yeah, get that done.
Yes, Hunter.
Game
Brackets
7.
stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
A slight
Yes.
bunt from Bunting, eh?
Yeah, did he? I think he did get a little piece. It didn't. It was going in anyway, but
Michael Braden Point is
just-
still the most underrated player in the NHL.
I
He's-
mean, he was very underrated for a time.
Yeah, he's slowly. Braden Point looks like the most like a Muppet to me, and I don't mean that in like the Australian like derogatory way. I mean like in a, like with the hair, because of the fuzzy beard and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
He looks like he's like Gritty's cousin.
Yeah. I mean, like Voracek is what Gritty's brother.
Yeah. Well, I think Gritty like spawned from Voracek somehow.
From Voracek, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
wow.
the combination of being undersized, the not a first round pick,
Mhm.
and just kind of subtle in what he does. That
Yeah, but he also makes like $7 million a year, so I don't know if you could be underrated.
and he's underpaid.
I
He's
know.
underpaid, that's for sure.
The hustle. Him and
Yep.
Palat some games. Only 2 forwards with hustle.
Wow, what a game!
Yeah, that was a
That's
lot
good
of
one.
fun. A lot of fun, everybody. And now this game. Should we stay on
Yep.
for the end of the first here, RJ?
Oh, what the Kings Oilers game?
Yeah. Oh, what's going on in the other game? I completely forgot about it.
It's like about halfway through the second, well, and the game, well, regulation. So yeah, it's still 1-0.
It's 2-0. So
Oh, is it 2-0?
it's
Okay.
2-0. The Blues just scored.
Oh, okay.
Power play goal.
Well, there we
Ryan
go.
O'Reilly.
Like we said, we know who's winning that one.
Ryan O'Reilly with that fresh haircut from Great Clips, or is it Sports Clips? I don't know. It's one of those two. What's the deal with both him and Kaprizov getting the 2 commercials? Is that just coincidence, or are they going to do that where they're going to pick a series and just do like 2 stars
Oh, that'd be fun,
for
wouldn't
both
it?
teams?
That'd be great. I think it's a coincidence, but that'd be cool.
Alex
Oh, yeah,
with the
we could-
very good idea of Victory Chocolate Milk.
Oh yes, gotta do that.
I actually meant to get milk on my way home from the doctor's office today, and I didn't. So now I'm sad.
Oh. They had heavily discounted chocolate milk at the Safeway right near where I live, and I did not pull the trigger on it. It was too much for one person. It was
No, it
giant.
wasn't. Especially
Came out to two cents per ounce or whatever, fluid ounce or whatever it was.
I mean, was it was it like going bad in an hour? Like,
I would have had to drink it in the next like 2 or 3 days, and I knew there was no way.
oh man, I would do
But
that.
the price can't beat the price. I should have done it.
I'd throw that in with some ice cream, make a milkshake. It'd be so good.
See, I was going to get it, but I was like, I'll circle back after I get the stuff that's that doesn't need to be refrigerated, and I'll go get it. And I forgot.
Yeah, because that basically has to be refrigerated if it's gonna be that close to its date.
Yeah, I'm not gonna walk around the grocery store with this for 20 minutes.
it'll be half solid by the time.
Yeah.
Well, in other news, Dallas Mavericks proving that yes, in this NBA second round, home court advantage does mean you just win automatically.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Who is gonna win the NBA championship?
I don't know. I like the way the Heat are playing right now.
Okay.
That being said, I still like the Suns, but
Are there no more just automatic win players? Like I remember how it used to be, where you knew that, like LeBron was going to the finals with the Warriors, and that from the start of the season.
Yeah, but they all had help.
Yeah. No super teams right now? Or no, didn't Kawhi bring balance to everything?
Yeah, kind of. Yes, actually, he had to sacrifice himself to do it, but he did.
Yeah. As these things go.
Yeah.
If you're gonna bring balance to the universe, you generally have to sacrifice yourself to do it. Okay, Dylan, fun question here. So, the arena that this game is being played at, what's it gonna be called next? Because does Crypto.com really continue to be able to afford the naming rights for much longer?
I don't know. It depends. Did they already pay it? Like,
I know. Yeah. Did they pay it?
Was that a $500 million up front?
What a deal for Yeah, I guess maybe just make the crypto company pay up front. Oh, that wraparound was so close.
That was very close.
Archibald.
That's a vintage Jonathan Quick save there. Just ditch the stick so you can reach out with your bear blocker hand and swipe it away.
And still have it hit the post for good measure. That is quick.
There you go. Alex knows what's up. Go Heat. I'm a big Jimmy Butler fan. I'm actually a Dallas Mavericks fan, but I love Jimmy Butler. So $500 million was in Luna coin. Gosh. Oh, it is. Yeah, it's been a rough couple days if you're into that. Sorry if anybody in chat is. I feel for you, but
yeah, we'll pay you the $500 million in advance, but it'll be Luna coin.
I know. What I'm interested to see is like so many athletes were starting to get their paychecks in crypto and stuff. Remember?
That's
that was becoming the like hot trendy thing, and I am hoping that whatever like outfit they were using to facilitate that they were promoting on like Twitter was giving them some form of kickback, because otherwise, oh boy.
Yeah.
And the thing I saw is you still pay taxes on what the original amount was. So your paycheck is now like can just drop overnight how much money you actually have in the bank, so to speak, but you're still paying taxes on the original amount. It's a rough situation.
Yep. I wonder how many of them have gotten out.
I would hope all of them. And
so I know we just flipped to this Kings game, but the Oilers seem kind of dominant right now.
They do.
Kings in it.
That being said, it's only a 1-goal game.
Exactly. I mean, that's how the Kings would win a lot of these games. With Quick would play really well, stay in it, and then you wake up and you only need to really wake up for 5 minutes and you've got the game.
Yep. At any point, Dano or Kopitar and their lines will just do something, and all of a sudden it's high game.
Yep.
And sometimes then it's immediately a 2-1 Kings lead.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's the end of the first.
There's the end of the first. Anybody got parting shots you want to take at either of us? Any last minute questions?
Now is the time.
I've enjoyed doing this. I like doing this. Oh, there's the spear on Anthony Ciu. Yeah, that was bad.
Oh, I just turned away from the game.
I don't know why you do that.
Because the period ended?
Because he's 40. And he's tired of playing hockey.
Oh, okay.
He just wants to retire. They won't let him.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get myself suspended.
All right, let's see
All
here.
right, yeah. Parting shots. Anyone got anything good here?
No,
Let's see.
I think we finally talked them all asleep.
I think so too. It has been. Well, this is definitely longer than we were planning to go.
Yeah, but it's been good.
No, it has been good. It has been good. I that's well. I mean, I get that it's been good. I've been having a fun
I
time. I
know.
think they've, but I don't know like how they listed us for this long. I'll never know. I'll never fully understand it.
All right. There we go.
Oh, that's
Absurdly
too
Saying.
nice. Absurdly
I
saying.
I know. Thanks for the stream. It's been fun. Scritches for Afra. I will. Yeah, not in the room with me. First time in a long time she hasn't been in the room for a stream, and that's because I knew she was gonna want dinner during it.
Yep.
But
Thank you,
definitely
Kitty B.
can do. Thanks, Kitty B. I'm just being sad about the wild. It's from Ty. Appropriate. Enjoy. Oh, reading ID. Enjoying the taco coma all night. Good for you. Sorry again about the Leafs, but also not sorry.
Yep. This is how it has to be.
It's destiny. You feeling bad about not taking the Lightning in 7 now, RJ?
Uh, I've got okay. The way it's set up in the bracket challenge, if the Blues win the Stanley Cup, I win the bracket challenge. If not, I don't. I'll take that.
Yeah, we talked about that off stream. I think you're in a good spot there. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, Alex. We're gonna go ahead and head off. It's gonna be pretty late for you, East Coast time.
Yeah.
But you get to ride the Lightning forcing a game 7 high, so that's good for you. I'd take that. Sorry for not looking. Oh, there we go. 3-0 Blues. This game's over.
All right.
Sorry, Ty.
As we do with all of these. All right, time to tune off of that game. Only watch the Kings Oilers game.
Yep. There we go. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. The team whose city name starts with a T will win Game 7. You're just as brave at predicting things as I am, Alex.
Yep. There you go.
All right. Yeah, I know. Leafs going to Game 7 again is objectively hilarious, to be honest. It is. It's fantastic. So far, home teams have been doing okay in that series, though. For the first game at home, because they both lost Game 2 in their barns. But this will be the first game back in Toronto, so the Leafs should be okay.
You'd think.
That's how it works, pretty sure.
All right. See if that can overcome the curse.
We'll see. I don't know. I still feel different about this Toronto team.
I do, too. And I was saying it all night tonight. I do feel different about them.
I can see this happening. So, all right, we'll find out on Saturday, or you guys all will, and I'll watch on my phone, follow along somehow. Be fun.
Yeah, I'll be texting Dylan like crazy for all of you guys. Don't worry.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us tonight, and we'll see you all next time.